We are live. This is exciting. First of all, for everybody who's tuning in to the Gooner channel, this is not football. All right. I know that you're all going to be familiar with me and Kyle as people who talk about football, but we are much more than just football fans. And I met Carl from doing a show together, and afterwards I'd say almost much more fun talking about films. And what's funny is, like, you could disagree about a film, but no one ever gets really aggy about it. So thank you for being here with us, because we intend to just talk about films. So Carl, thank you so much for being here. You're on mute, which is not this is how every show should start.
Big up, Dan.
How are you, man?
Big up to you having me on the show, and I'm excited. I'm very excited to talk about movies other than Arsenal. And big up to the chat. And I think this is going to be interesting, Dan. So I hope you can hear me clearly. And I'm looking forward to this. Big up to you.
You're coming through loud and clear. And I know my first question, really, because I know we're going to talk about Gladiator, but there's a whole host of films that have disappointed me lately. No, I'm not trying to spoiler it, but look, Gladiator was not a success in my eyes. But I want to kind of talk, like when you see a film, like, obviously you're a reviewer by trade, right? So you have to think about things on a deeper level than I'm a cinema goer, I'm a film watcher, and I watch it and think, I didn't like that, but I don't always know why. But before we do all of that, before we go into the first film we're going to review together, or that you're going to review and I'm going to ask questions about, we'll both give our opinions, obviously, but I just wanted to, I've been so excited about doing this, about movies, really excited. And I just wanted to, and I've been thinking a lot about this myself, but what makes film, cinema, so special for you?
Yeah, Dan, very good question to start off the show with. And film, I suppose, is a very subjective matter. And that's what I find interesting about them. You can sit down and talk to any walk of life, and you don't have to be a film reviewer to enjoy film. And I find it very interesting as a film reviewer to sit back and listen to the ordinary cinema goer to see what kind of interests and what atmosphere and what they got from the film. And for me personally, Dan, it's like a drug. I never took drugs in my life, Dan. I drink very seldom. And when I go out to the cinema to watch a movie, it's like my hit. It's like a heroin addict getting a hit from injecting. When I go to the cinema, that's what I get. That's my buzz. That's for that 2 hours at that cinema. That's my buzz. And
so do you remember the first time you got that buzz? Do you remember the first film?
I do, Dan. Yeah, interesting again. Dan, from the age of right, I'll just give you a backstory. From the age of four, Dan, 4 years of age, I had a massive interest in watching Hammer horror movies.
Me too.
And I tell you that my parents were separated since 1989. But my mom and dad would have serious arguments because my mom didn't want me to watch those kind of films because obviously I was too young. Yeah. And my father is a big film fan, and he didn't see the problem with me having an interest in watching these films. So I started off as a 4-year-old in awe watching these things on the screen. All these.
Which ones do you mean though? Because there was there's like the Pit and the Pendulum type stuff, or
Dracula, Frankenstein, all that kind of stuff.
And
I'd be sitting, and what happened was that at the age of about 5 or 6, my father always said, I started asking him questions. What is an editor? What's a cinematographer? What does a director do? Who's the actor? What did he act?
There's a lot of questions I've got for you, Kyle.
yeah. So I have all these kind of things, Stan, and I just fell in love. Man. And even my dad brought me to England when I was about 8 or 9, and we went to a HMV store, and I was literally just ran up the stairs to these DVDs, and there's even pictures of me at home looking at all these DVDs, just amazed by, well, not DVDs, VHSs back in the day. And I was just looking at all these VHSs, man, at the age of 8. And as soon as I could, I started collecting films. I started doing research. I started looking at film, asking me, Dad, what film will I watch now? 11 and 12, 13 years of age, I was watching Godfather, The Exorcist. I was watching all The Great Escape, all these films, Dan. And I was just, man, listen, I was just hooked from both parents will tell you I was hooked from day one. I don't know why, but I just was. It took me away, Dan. It took me away from the struggles of life.
It is. It's what it is, isn't it? It's a journey you go on.
It made me dream. It made me dream. It made me. What am I going to be like when I hit 20 years of age? What kind of life am I going to have? It made me. It just, my imagination just grew and grew. So it's great. It's a great passion to have, Dan.
When you were talking about that, I was remembering when I was about 10 or 11, when my mum and stepdad would go out, they'd bribe me with a few. They'd let me go to the video store and browse and pick whatever I wanted. And I'll never forget my stepdad. There was no wasn't worried if it was an 18 or a 15 or whatever. I'll never forget him saying, watch this. If you don't like it, I'll give you a £5. And a £5 then was a lot of money, right? Especially to me. And it was First Blood.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, when he come back, he goes, do I owe you a £5? And I went, no. I loved it. I just want to say massive love to Idris Adam and Malia who are here. Anthony's here. Malia's saying, can the next Adam's Arms quiz be on Gladiator 2 so I can get some points? We might do that. Anthony's saying, oi, big up, lads. I know Razor's hard as nails, but he cried when he watched Bambi. I've never seen Bambi. Yeah, I felt like I was coming out with something there, but Malia says, I've still got my VHS. I'm sentimental to let it go. It's true, isn't it? I remember the first film I watched on VHS, E.T.
E.T., yeah.
What film?
Dan, I remember the first film I went to cinema to see.
Yeah,
my dad brought me to my first film ever in the cinema, and the film was called The Beastmaster.
Oh, I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Don't ever watch it.
I think my first ever film actually was Star Wars.
Star Wars, an amazing film to see on the big screen, Dan, for the first time.
Yeah, just incredible. Like, there isn't any way of explaining to people, that time. It was incredibly, it was a different, well, obviously a different galaxy, it was a different everything. But at the first scene where the ship comes across in the cinema was just, you felt like the whole place was shaking, the stereo sound. I think there is something that about our childhood that it's nostalgia, it's transportative. But beyond that, I think like when we go to discuss certain films, I know as we will do, there is more to it. There's exactly what you were just saying there. I was really transfixed. It's like that you get taken away to somebody else's life. You get to experience the world through eyes that you never normally would. And that's incredibly deep. But I think I want to start off, just get it out of the way, really, because talking about transporting people to places, on one level, I did feel like Gladiator 2 kind of took me to a place. But it wasn't like the first Gladiator where you felt you were in Rome. This one felt like you were in a computer game. Why? First of all, what did you think of Gladiator 2? And more importantly, why?
First of all, Dan, I went to see Gladiator. What is it now? 23 years ago, whatever it is now.
Yeah, God, no. I mean, it must be a quarter century, yeah.
It absolutely blew me away. I remember seeing it on the screen for the first time, and geez, an unbelievable performance from Russell Crowe. Joaquin Phoenix was amazing in it as well. Connie Nielsen was really good supporting actress in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the Oliver Reed. And I thought he was brilliant in it until obviously he died and they had to do this CGI stuff. And then you have the Hans Zimmer score, one of the greatest scores in cinema history. And it all just, Ridley Scott behind the camera, and it all just came together. And it was an amazing film. And like you said, Dan, it took me to Rome. And I came out of that cinema and I couldn't believe what I was after watching. One of the best sword and sandal films I've made in years.
Yeah. I mean, I maybe the best. Well, what are you putting up against it? Spartacus?
Spartacus was a great film as well. Kirk Douglas, brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, those type of films back in the day, Spartacus, Spain Horror, all that kind of, they were all amazing for different films, Dan. They were different. Obviously, with CGI improved a lot with Gladiator. And now that I mentioned CGI to you, that's the one thing that I hate it. Absolutely hate it about Gladiator 2. How can they get the CGI so bad in Gladiator 2? And
it was so good in Gladiator 1.
Years before that, the CGI was top class.
Well, you're kind of touching on something. There's a point where, look, I know if you watch the original Gladiator, and I actually watched little YouTube, I forget his name now, but the historian who's Jon Snow's son, Dan Snow. And he was talking about films and which are authentic. And he's like, look, there's a lot of nonsense in Gladiator, obviously. But it does take you to Rome. It is something that takes you to Rome. By the time you get to Gladiator 2, there's no point even talking about it, because the thing for me was, you know, Sword and Sandals film. This is a sword, sandals, and sharks film. They're one step away from having aliens in it. And I know it doesn't matter. All right. I know it doesn't matter that the details aren't exactly right, but the sharks really bother me, because Romans didn't even have a name for sharks. The idea that they would have been able to transport a deadly shark to the Colosseum, it's just so silly, and you think it trivializes the whole film. They did do naval battles at the Colosseum. That's enough. It feels like people making the film knew that there wasn't quite enough to it, so they threw in silliness, and there was no plot.
But they're doing that nowadays, Dan, more often than not. The silliness, stupid things thrown in for entertainment level. And what's happened is it's taken from the film. When I saw the sharks, I was like, what? Seriously?
Yeah, but why? It does nothing. It's like...
Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just saying, it literally doesn't move the plot ahead. It's just silliness. It's pure. You might as well have aliens in it. You might as well have it makes no sense. They're so thin. The dialogue is so uninspiring. The whole film is a remake of the first film. It's just without caring about any of the people.
The other problem I had with it was, name might slip me though. Paul, the Irish lad, Paul. The Gladiator himself. What the hell was his second name? Paul Mescal or something, I think.
I'll have to look, because Mescal.
Paul Mescal, yeah. Paul Mescal. Dan, I would believe that you're a Roman gladiator before I believe that he's a Roman gladiator.
Yeah, it was silly.
That put me out of the film completely.
But you touched on it first off. You said it's right, and I completely agree. It's like, one of the things about Gladiator is that Russell Crowe carries that film with an outstanding performance. He is utterly believable.
Yeah,
he's utterly convincing. And when he gives one of my favorite bits in Gladiator is, on my command, unleash hell.
Yeah,
and all of that's silly as well. I mean, trees don't burn in the rain and all of that, but it's so, on my command, unleash hell. And it's just that this character development, the plot arc, the story arc, everything. I mean, it's all nonsense, but it's so gripping.
Yeah.
And in this, we get what? We get just, like, it's just silly. I don't care if you know what's going to happen. Cole says it as well. He says Gladiator 2 is stupid. It's exactly as a poor reboot.
Yeah. I didn't care for any of the characters. I didn't care if Paul Mescal was going to survive. I didn't care what happened to the Denzel Washington character.
Denzel Washington disappointed me.
I thought he was absolutely terrible in that film.
Because he does, he's like, you're getting quality with him almost all. Even Equalizer, which is what you expect from a film like that. Denzel delivers over and over again. I just wondered what he was doing in this film. I didn't understand why he suddenly became. None of it. I'll be honest. I watched it at home by myself, and it was a Friday night. I watched it not last Friday, but Friday before. I just stayed up late and watched it, and I was on my phone playing, little videos to myself watching it, thinking, "Oh, is this still on?" There's
Yeah.
nothing about it caught my attention or gripped my attention.
And it just kept going and going and going. The last half an hour, I was just saying, "Please end, please end." And then the ending to it, Dan, it was horrendous.
I don't remember the ending.
Oh,
I watched it 2 weeks ago. I don't remember it. Like, she dies. No, listen, I should say, if you haven't seen Gladiator 2 yet, we're going to do some spoilers. But hopefully we'll put you off watching it, because you're not going to get that time back.
No. And then I'll be honest with you, I wasn't excited about Gladiator 2 in the first place.
No.
When it was first announced, I was saying, why, Ridley, are you doing this? By the way, Ridley Scott's previous films have been shocking.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, this man's best days are behind him. He's in his 80s.
Yeah, long time behind him as well. A long time behind him. We're talking 80s. We're VHS time behind him.
I'm like, what are you doing, Ridley? What are you doing here? And the budget that they spent on that movie, and then the advertising.
Well, was it a lot? I mean, I'm not being facetious. I genuinely don't know, because it's so much CGI. Did they make it most of the film on ChatGPT or something?
Exactly. It's shocking, Dan. It's really poor film, and I was disgusted. But I tell you, I'm disgusted with Hollywood, and I'm sure over the next look at that, we're not going to cover everything tonight.
No,
so we're hoping that this is going to be a show now that we can elaborate on different things as we go along. And there's so much right across the film industry that we can talk about as the show goes on. And, because the movie industry is very interesting, Dan.
Yeah. It's the stories we tell ourselves become our reality. Most of us, without realizing, believe things fundamentally that are true in films. I mean, I'd like us to go over this in some detail over the coming weeks or months and years, hopefully. But some of the things that people just think, like one of the things is exploding cannonballs, chloroform. All of these things are Hollywood inventions. They're not real, but we all think lie detector tests, all of these things that come out of Hollywood films. Psychological profiling done by the FBI is about 50-50. It doesn't usually work, but if you watch Silence of the Lambs or films like this, you believe in it. Our reality is shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. And some of these stories, I was watching clips today. I tell you what, to completely contrast our discussion on Gladiator 2, I think we've both given it the lowest score you can get. I mean,
I did a review for the paper, Stan, and I think I gave it a score of 2 out of 10.
That's generous.
That was being very generous.
Have you ever given a 1 out of 10?
I have given 0s and 1s out of 10. Yeah, a lot of bad movies out there, Dan.
I'm kind of hoping that one of the films I love is one that you've given a one. That's what film is, right? I'll go through some of these. AJ's here, great to see you. Lone Star Londoner, Pedro fucking Pascal. It's a fair point. I thought he was about the only half decent actor.
He was. I agree, Dan. I agree.
I thought he can't carry a film like that, but he was all right in it.
Yeah.
Earth Vader is in Gladiator 3. Ridley Scott is a hack. This is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
What's the last good Ridley Scott film, genuinely?
Very good question, Dan.
It's 85, 86, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, because look at The Counselor was crap. Let's say it as it is. The aliens, the Prometheus, and all that
do you know what? We are going to get to those, because there are films I desperately want to like, and if I can't like them, I just. What do you do?
I'm like you, Dan. I think Alien is a masterpiece. I think Aliens is probably one of the greatest sequels, if not the greatest sequel ever made. And Alien 3, Dan, gets a lot of grief. But I'm fond of Alien 3. I think it has
What's
a good
one
idea.
where she's cloned and it's not even her and she comes out? What's that? Alien?
That's
4?
Alien Resurrection. That's part 4.
That's fucking dreadful.
That's shocking. Alien 3 is the one where she signed the prison, the planet.
I don't know if I've seen it, if I'm honest.
I like it. David Fincher directed it. David Fincher went on to be a really good director. And the guys, when it came out, it was really slated. I always had a little thing there for Alien 3. And after that, Dan, shocking stuff came out.
I can't watch them. And I know people who love them, and I just can't get onto it. I want to like it. I just don't like it.
Well, I have a question to ask you, Dan. Did you watch the last one, the Alien?
No, the one where the origin story kind of thing.
Yeah, just there last year sometime it was released.
I mean, I'd started working with a guy who's mad about it, and he'd gone off to see it, and he was telling me everything. I was just like, look, I'm controversial on a number of things I just don't get or like. One of them was the Lord of the Rings films. I saw the first one, thought, oh, this is good. And the Two Towers, I hated. It's arguably one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. I just detested it. When people used to say to me, what did you think of it? I said, oh, everyone should go and see that film. And people would go, oh, is it that good? And I go, no, it's that bad. But if I have to see it, everyone should have to see it. It's if I had 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, to live, if I had like 4 hours to live, I'd go and watch the Two Towers because I'd just pause it and go, let's get it out of the way now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just no final meal. It was just awful. I hated it so much. There are films that I know are huge, phenomenon, and I just don't like them at all. And I think that's a very personal film. There are very few films everyone agrees are shit. But for me, I would imagine the worst film I've ever seen definitely is that.
But then you were on about subjective once again. This is why this is great, because you have two opinions. And obviously the chat. You just said to me that you hope that there's a film that you hate that I love.
Is it Two Towers?
You just mentioned it. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And
but let me try and fit, because I also just want to. This caught my eye. Rosie's here. Great to see you, Rosie. Fandabby Rosie. Let us know your fate. She loves rom-coms. But Cole S has put in Napoleon, and we've got like. I know we're starting the show off talking about films we hate, right? But that is a dreadful film. That was a film I was looking forward to for over a year. And what on earth did they do with that film? So we might circle back to that. But tell me, what am I not getting about the Two Towers? Or, what
I'll tell you, Dan, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put it to the side, and we're going to have a show about the Lord of the Rings trilogy together.
God.
If you're up for it.
I never watched the third one. I liked the first one. The second one was like, I said, look, I will watch a George Lucas trilogy after the first trilogy. I owe him that. And the second trilogy of Star Wars films was poop. It's just poop. And but I had to watch all three because I'd loved the first three so much. But they had not bought my faith. I watched the first Lord of the Rings. The second one's so bad. I mean, I could not care less. It was like walking trees and just.
Well, Dan, you've just answered your own question, my friend. You said, "What have I missed in part 2 of Lord of the Rings?"
It was a walking tree.
I'm going to go back, and I want to say to you, you have to look at the Return of the King, and you will understand.
Who's got time? Who's got time?
You have plenty of time, Dan, because it's a fucking masterpiece, brother.
But why? Talk to me. I mean, I'd love to get the thoughts of the people watching. I mean, who's on the same side? I know that it's an unpopular opinion to say that. I mean, every time I do it at work, every time I say to someone at work, they go, "You don't like Lord of the Rings?" I'm like, no, I don't. It's not that I don't like fantasy. I love Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't care less about these. You know what? It just felt like someone could have edited it better. I mean, it's like 4 hours, isn't it? My mate at the time said it's worth it for the battle scene at the end. And so when the battle scene came, and I was like, oh, thank fuck for it. All right, good. At last. Great. Wonderful. That's over in about 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, that wasn't worth it. All right. I'm saying to my missus, come, we're going. And it says it's not over yet. And then the film went on for another hour or something. I'm like, everything about me. She said, I've never seen you fidget. I've never seen you. You never. I was looking at my watch, and every time I looked at it, it was 10 minutes earlier than the last time I'd looked. I've done jury duty for 3 weeks. I'd do it again instead of watching that film. It was fucking dreadful. And it was, whatever. I couldn't find a way to care. There was no, I tried reading the book. just a bit puffy.
It's very interesting, but that's what I'm saying. This is why I love this, Dan. It's very interesting because, as I said, you're going to hear things that you don't like that I love, and you're going to hear things that I love that you don't like, and it's brilliant.
I'll try and come in with one. Like we'll over the time. I'm sure we'll. But there's loads of films I love, which I'm pretty much know it's just me in the whole world that likes it. I thought Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams in it was a brilliant film.
When I'm trying. I'm blind here, Dan. I was trying to read the comment there about working in hotels. And if you know where I'm from the Shannon in Enniscorthy, and it's a rough place. So yeah, I probably am robbing it here. So I missed it. I missed like you said. Go ahead.
Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
Yeah,
that's one of my. I love that film. It makes me cry every time I watch it.
Right, that's interesting. I thought that was all right film, Dan.
Oh, what?
I thought it was only okay.
Do you know what? I get it, but for me, it's a story behind it, and I only found out quite recently. I think it's an Arthur C. Clarke book originally.
Well, he's brilliant. Robin Williams is brilliant, Dan.
Oh, he's brilliant. And everything. We will probably do a whole show on Robin Williams.
Absolutely, absolutely. That 1 hour 4.
World According to God. I still remember him before he was Hollywood box office when he was doing films like that.
Yeah.
Moscow and Hudson. I just loved him. I was a massive fan. But no, so Gladiator 2, you've given it a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think you're being generous, but
yeah.
I'm not. I can't see me giving a 0 to anything. But I'd give that a 1. I just think it's so pointless to spend that much money on a film that doesn't really have a purpose at all.
I'd be surprised to see Ridley Scott making another film after that.
Well, you said it as well. I mean, how old is he now? He's
definitely 80, 81.
No, he's older than that. He's way older than that. He's way older than that.
Is he that?
Yeah, he's nearly 90.
Jeez. Time to quit thing.
Yeah, just have a nap. Do you know what I mean? I'm not making shit films when I'm 90. Wouldn't you love to make a film though?
I love it. But film is changing, Dan. With this whole AI situation now, it's going to be very, very interesting.
Well, listen, I say this.
Laptops making films, Dan. That's where it's going to go.
I'm really glad to say this because there are strikes happen all over the place, when they're trying to protect. It's like trying to hold back the tide. It's fascinating to me because I've made little videos and things using AI, but there is something irreplaceable about actual cinema, actual film, let alone digital.
Yeah.
And I wonder what are your thoughts on AI? I mean, surely as a tool to make a film more special, it's great, right?
I have a fear for AI, not just in cinema, but overall. But we're talking about cinema now, so we keep it as cinema. I do fear for the future of film. I fear for the future of cinema, then. And I am very, what should I say? I will be very close contacts within the industry. And I actually had a conversation only last weekend with, or last week. I brought my daughter to see the, How to Train Your Dragon. And I was talking to the manager of the cinema. And he was
coming to see it.
He told me he's very, very concerned, very worried. The price.
I think that, but it's not AI that's killing cinema. What's killing cinema?
AI, yes. But AI is going to come. It's going to affect cinema as well as everything else, Dan. And that's why I fear that cinema might be a thing of the past in the next 10 years, maybe even earlier.
I think cinema. It's different. I like small independent cinemas that aren't just showing the same thing as everyone else.
Yeah.
But actually, movies, I think, are under threat really from series. You can watch a series now, like Game of Thrones. I mean, you can binge watch an entire series and tell a story in a much slower pace than you can a film. I mean, I think real filmmakers can never have a film long enough, like The Irishman.
Yeah.
That was badly in need of a bit less CGI and a lot less just padding,
Probably The Irishman was the lads were too old.
Yeah,
That was the problem.
there's a scene where De Niro's beating someone up, and
Yeah.
all right, they've CGI'd him, but he's kicking him like an old man, and
Yeah.
it's just silly,
Yeah.
you know.
But
Get a
then,
stunt double in.
as I said, yeah, the manager was telling me the price of the popcorn, the coke, the sweets, all that kind of stuff in the cinema, Dan. It's too much for me. For me and the woman, I'm lucky enough, Dan. I get to the cinema to see all the films for free, so I'm not too bad. And sometimes my woman will get in for free, or if I go out with my child, she get in for free. So we're lucky that way. But if you are genuinely a couple going out to the cinema for a night out, it's now, I think it's something like $17.50 each for a ticket. Now there's 30, 36, 37 euros on 2 tickets. That's before you get your popcorn, your coke, your sweets. You're talking €100, Dan, for a couple.
Yeah, and then if you're out, you're probably going to have something to eat somewhere.
You're going to have a nice dinner, nice bottle of wine, maybe. You know what I mean? So I think, Dan, the problem then is that we have streaming services.
Yeah.
So now what people is doing, I'm not spending €100 to go out to the cinema. So we can see it on streaming services in 6 or 7 weeks.
Well, I mean, I found myself doing that. I do that a lot. We've got a cinema literally just a 2-minute walk from the house, and I don't go there. I've never been there, but I love to watch films at home. So I love films. I'm not. I did discover about 6-7 years ago the joy of going to the cinema alone. Yeah, and I couldn't believe I'd never done it before because it's brilliant. Because you go and I went and watched Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure I wanted to see it. So I thought I'll go by myself and watch it. And if it's shit, I'll get up halfway through and go.
Yeah.
And I went, there's no one else in the cinema. It was brilliant. I actually enjoyed the film. Not that much, but it was a good enough film. But I think cinema is one thing. I can understand with the high price of rent and the cost of living crisis why cinema's got to change its attitude a little bit.
It has to change its attitude. It has to.
But in terms of films, I think they're under threat by the fact that you can, you have these series like Breaking Bad, like Game of Thrones, like Mad Men, where the plot development is slower. You become more invested in it.
But Dan, can I ask you a question though, Dan, right? I'm here tonight talking to you. I was talking to a friend of mine that seen the film. I actually haven't seen him in years. I was talking to a friend of mine about 25 years ago, Dan. Now, I'm going to ask you the question. How is it that 25, 26 years ago, I was able to sit in a car and say to my friend, we were going to the cinema to see a film, came home, and I said to my friend, the conversation took place, and I said to him, TV is going to overtake film.
Yeah.
And how is it that Kyle Walsh can say that sitting in a car in Enniscorthy town, a little small town in Ireland? And why is it that these top guys in Hollywood, these places, and the movie studios, and all them, and they couldn't see it? The Sopranos is the greatest gangster TV, possibly the greatest TV show ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, The Wire, all these shows were amazing shows, Dan.
You get so much character development. I mean, I would say for me, Sopranos is again, like, spoiler. If you haven't seen Sopranos to the end, right? Like, I'm sorry, I'm about to ruin it for you. But I watched the first time I watched it, obviously when it was out, and the ending was like, what the hell's that? And I was pissed off, and all of the people I watched it with, were 5 blokes. We'd all had a night out. We watched it. Everyone's like, what a load of shit. Then I started seeing someone, and she was like, oh, I've never seen Sopranos. I was like, oh, you've got to watch Sopranos. And I watched it with her, and we got all the way through it, and she loved it. It's just brilliant writing. It's just impeccable, right? There's very little you can fault about it. And we get to the end, and the same ending, and I suddenly understood it. I suddenly realized what had happened. And the next morning when I woke up like when I'd lost someone. You know, like when you've lost someone. I felt like I'd lost a real person. That doesn't happen very often.
No. But what an actor. James Gandolfini. My God.
Unbelievable. Like, born for that role, completely not that character, but played it to, I mean, there are so many good actors. I mean, the Sopranos in of itself it's a majestic piece of art, because these people, there isn't one redeeming character in there. There isn't one redeeming feature. There isn't one person that you could say, oh, they're a good person, but you love them all like family. So it makes you feel that whole thing about the Cosa Nostra, the mafia, any gang, you know, you can be in it and hate and understand objectively that everyone's a bastard.
Yeah.
But Paulie Walnuts, he's our bastard, you know.
Yeah.
When you have characters that are really nice, Adriana being killed by Silvio, that's one of the most horrifying things, and you could detach him from everything else you've seen about him. Yeah. It's epic in a way that I don't think you could fit the same character development into a film, but it does make you appreciate when films do get it right, and you do get all of that. And I think there's Nafe's put up some films. Obviously, I'm guessing. I mean, I'd be amazed if these aren't films you love, because these are brilliant films.
Before you say that, Dan, I just want to say something about The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Eddie Falco, who plays his wife.
Yeah.
She said in an interview that, I can't remember which season it was season 4 or 5 maybe, but she said that James Gandolfini said to her backstage, we're going to film this scene, but it's not going to be the way it has been written for us. It's going to be done the way I want it done. I think it's going to feel a lot more real, and the viewers will get a whole lot more. So Eddie said that she hyped herself up. She didn't exactly know what was going to happen. And that scene was the scene where he physically grabs her by the throat and lifts her up against the wall. And the fight's up on the stairway or in the hallway. And the both of those actors walked away with Grammy Awards because of that scene alone.
There aren't awards. There aren't awards enough for that show. There just are not awards enough for that show. What's fascinating is they're so real life as well. Yeah. The FBI were wiretapping the actual family The Sopranos is based on, and they would listen to them having conversations, like talking about it and how they're in love with it as well.
It's a masterpiece, Dan. The Sopranos TV show is a masterpiece.
Yeah. So where do you put it alongside? So because I like gangster films. I'm a sucker for a gangster film.
Me too.
So Godfather, obviously, Godfather 2. I always joke with my family. I got my boys to watch Godfather 1 and 2 as soon as I could, and they were like, "What about Godfather 3?" And I'm like, "Well, they've never made one. They didn't make it. It's never gonna, I just don't acknowledge that film. It's not part of the canon." But Casino,
amazing.
I didn't like it the first time I watched it.
I loved it.
It took me a little while. I love it now.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, anything with Joe Pesci in it, of course. I'm thinking of the best gangster film of all time.
For me, it's The Godfather Part 2.
I'd still say it's Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is amazing, Dan.
It's one of the most incredible films. Just everything about it, it's
incredible. There's no other word to use, only incredible. My woman, I think it's my woman's favorite film.
Oh, I love it. I love just him as well at the end, where he's like, I ordered spaghetti marinara sauce, and they gave me noodles with ketchup. I'm just an everyday schnook. And just that whole film. But I mean, the people it's based on are vile, awful people. It's like, really, Jimmy the Gent. These are all real people, and he used to put people's kids in ice lockers and kill people. The idea, though, is it's funny because I think there is something about the cowboy film, the gangster film, where particularly I think this is true, but I'd be lovely to hear from one of the ladies in the comments if I'm off the ball here, is that I think for men, we want to be those rebels. We want to be the guys who take whatever the hell we want.
Of course, Dan. Of course. It's interesting you said that, Dan, because you watched the Goodfellas, and you're right, Mike said, they're violent characters. They're characters that you don't want to mess with. You wouldn't like to be in their company. But yes, every single man wants to be Ray Liotta. Every single man. And every woman, including my woman, wants to be with Ray Liotta because they get turned on by him, because they get the power that he has. Imagine
Even that look in Field of Dreams as well. Like he's
Yeah.
so powerful in that. Like you
Yeah.
can't take your eyes off him.
No, Ray Liotta's a fantastic actor. Then you had Robert De Niro, obviously at his base. Joe Pesci, Martin Scorsese behind the camera, Lorraine Bracco. They're amazing character actors.
The one that always gets me is Joe Pesci, because Joe Pesci's, when you hear Sammy the Bull Gravano talking about who he's like, no, he is. He's like one of us. He knows his shit. He knows.
Robert De Niro said they all grew up around Italy. They all grew up in that. They all had friends.
Well, De Niro, funnily enough, De Niro didn't, did he? De Niro's family were very bohemian, and they were like, he was very much around artists and poets.
Yeah, but he also knew of mafia members.
Oh, yeah,
and they all grew up in that era. And the thing is that maybe you know this, just an insight in Goodfellas. Maybe you know this because it is quite famous. That scene where Joe Pesci says to Ray Liotta, are you calling me a clown? What's so fucking funny about me? Yeah. You know that Pesci said to Scorsese, "Fit him," and Ray Liotta had no idea that was coming.
It's brilliant. It's one of my favorite moments. Like that's good cinema. You know, like the bit in With Nail and I, where Richard E. Grant drinks the lighter fluid.
Yeah.
And he's teetotal, but they put vinegar in there.
Yeah.
So when he drinks it, he's like, those little moments of cinema, they're absolutely classic. Miss Molina's here. Hi, Miss Molina. I want to come back to this though, because this is like, I think we can start to see what we're going to be talking about going up. There's some films we all love, right?
No, Dan, sorry again, Dan. You haven't started gangster films. You named out a few names. I just like to come in with another great gangster movie. I'm interested to hear, did you see it, Dan? A film called State of Grace.
No, I haven't.
If you ever get State of Grace, Dan, watch it, man.
So tell me about State of Grace.
Sean Penn is the lead actor. Yeah. And Ed Harris is the head mafia, and Gary Oldman is Ed Harris's brother, who's a complete psychopath.
Right.
And basically,
Gary Oldman plays a complete psychopath.
Yeah, and
that's already got me hooked on the idea of that. I love Gary Oldman.
Oldman's brilliant. He's a psycho, and he's Ed Harris's brother. Ed Harris kind of level-headed, and he's telling his brother not what to do, and his brother is doing what he's telling him not to do. And Sean Penn is an undercover cop, Irish American, and he's trying to get these lads down. So it all comes down to the end, you know yourself. And I have to say, Dan, it blew me away. Loved every minute.
I can't believe I've not even really heard of it. I might even watch that tonight after we finish. Just
check it out, Dan. You're going to like it, man. It is a really good film.
That's the thing now. One of the great advantages of the streaming services, like there is now, if you think of a film, you can watch it that minute, you know. And I think maybe that has an impact as well, because films for us when we were younger, you couldn't just see them whenever you wanted. They became an event, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe
you put them no, you haven't done. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
No, I completely agree. I just want to we'll stay on gangster films because there's a couple we haven't mentioned yet, which are absolutely classic. But Naif's put in, this is Spinal Tap, which is a brilliant film. Lock, Stock, which is in the theme of gangster films. I think Guy Ritchie's great, and I think
absolutely, totally agree that.
And I think what he does is he does that thing that he creates this kind of pretend gangster world, which makes it a bit more cartoonish, a bit softer. So it's not real, it's not gritty. It's not like The Long Good Friday, which is a bit cartoonish but supposed to be gritty. But the language people use and that kind of chic thing, you know, I mean, it's just... I can't decide between Snatch and Lock, Stock, but I think for me it's Lock, Stock. There's a good old...
For me, it's Snatch. I think Snatch is one... I go as far as saying that Snatch is one of the best British films ever made.
I don't know. I'd agree with that, but I still think Lock, Stock is a great
movie.
I mean, Lock, Stock's got so much going. He's a proper crime caper.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
You know, if you don't want to be counting the fingers you haven't got. It's one of my favourite lines of all time.
Brilliant.
The governor.
Well, I tell you, Dan, you're talking about British films. I'd just like to say to you, Dan, Tim Roth.
Oh.
It is Tim Roth. In,
Yeah, well, from Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
yeah, he
Yeah.
made a film called Made in Britain.
I think I do know this one.
Absolute magnificent performance and a magnificent film.
I'm not sure I've seen it, you know. But when you said it, the name rang a bell. But
yeah, Made in Britain.
He annoys me. I got to be honest with you. His character annoys me in Reservoir Dogs, and he annoys me a little bit in. Oh, I have seen it. Yes, he's brilliant in it though.
Yes, great movie.
He's brilliant. The neo-Nazi one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was on telly not that long ago.
Well, I think Alan Clark directed that film. A great British director, and there's two other British films that are just fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Scum with Ray Winston.
Oh, anything with Ray Winston. Oh, a Nil by Mouth.
No, Scum with Ray Winston and Nil by Mouth with Ray Winston. What a fucking movie!
Scum is epic, but it doesn't feel like cinema.
No.
It feels like a TV documentary.
It
feels like, because I remember one of our supply teachers at school played the chef in Scum.
Right.
So he was a total. He would come in and he'd sit there with the paper and he'd smell of weed and he'd be drunk as a lord. And he only did supply teach. He never taught a lesson ever. But yeah, Scum was like my age group. It was like, where's your tool? What tool? This fucking tool. Yeah. Oh, who's your daddy now? Yeah. He was like, it's got everything. It's like a horror story. Yeah. It's gritty. It's very.
It's amazing, Dan. And Nil by Mouth is just magnificent film. So hard.
But that's Gary Oldman made that.
Sorry?
Gary Oldman made that.
Gary Oldman, yeah. It's actually based on Gary Oldman's childhood.
Yeah. And his sister's in it.
And it's magnificent. It's a great movie with powerhouse performance.
I love that you said that because I watched it about a month before Christmas. I was by myself. I had a glass of whiskey and I watched it, and it's the way it's filmed. Everything about it is just it's incredible acting. It's hyper realism, isn't it? It's you are there, and I would say I always think when I watch films like that, I know that life. I know people like that. I can relate to it, and I wonder if everyone can.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. I could relate to it, and it's a very hard watch. But it's so tough and it's so raw and it's so out there. But yeah,
and you know what? And you know what's great about it as well? When the characters, when you just want them to do the right thing and they always fuck it up.
You always fuck it up.
Ah,
Dan, the performances are it's just an epic film. Anyone that hasn't watched Scum or Nil by Mouth or Made in Britain, check those three movies out.
I think we could do a whole show on Ray Winston because Sexy Beast.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's another British film as well, Dan, called oh Jesus, great movie. Why is that now coming to me? That's these fellas with their boy racers.
That's brilliant.
I'll come back to it. I can't remember.
Let's just, while you're thinking about it, these top 5 films. How about these? Some great films here. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Amazing film.
Midnight Express.
Amazing film.
That's a hard film to watch though.
Hard film to watch.
Shawshank Redemption.
Amazing film.
It's just funny, isn't it? Like no one went to see it in the cinema.
I'll tell you a story about that now in a minute, Dan.
Yeah. And then Casino, which, like I said, the first time I saw it, first few times, I thought it was a bit, they're trying to do too much. Goodfellas, which is one of my top 5 films. And Scarface, which is, it's just, I can't think of Scarface as a film. It's just part of our lives, isn't it? It's like.
Love Scarface. I think Scarface is amazing. I think it's one of the best. I think Pacino is great in it. I also love Carlito's Way. I think
Carlito Bragante.
Yeah, great.
When people, look, it's like saying who's your favorite Arsenal player, isn't it? But when people say who's your favorite actor, I can understand why people would say Robert De Niro. I can understand why people say Jack Nicholson. But for me, if there's one thing that you can say about Al Pacino is he is Scent of a Woman. He is one of my favorite all-time films, Glengarry Glen Ross, which is
an
just
amazing film.
insanely
Fucking amazing.
It's a brilliant play.
Yeah.
But how they got all of those... When people say to me, I haven't seen Glengarry Glen Ross, I go, Jack Lemmon, Al Pacino... Yeah, you just go through the list. Like there's everyone who's anyone. It's an award-winning play made into a beautiful film. But when I think of Pacino and all the parts he's played, which is the real Pacino? Like you can't. There's just no. I mean, Carlos Brigante is one of the most iconic characters. I bought a leather jacket just like that to be more like him, and Last of the Mohicans, and everything about that film is the way it's done, and it's just a great film, start to finish.
Probably Brian De Palma's best film.
Yeah, I'd say I would. Yeah, I mean, there's some. You mentioned one the other night, didn't you? Manhunter.
That was Michael Mann.
Oh, was it? So why did I think that was Brian De Palma? I'm going mad then.
No, Michael Mann, because Michael Mann did Miami Vice.
Oh, right, okay. You get a sense
Miami
of that
Vice
in
and
the
Manhunter are very similar.
the old, yeah. That's a great score to that film as well, Manhunter. The sound is just...
Dan, I'll just quickly say to you that Manhunter is in my... will be in my top 10 list of great films. I just love Manhunter so much. I've watched it repeatedly. I've studied this. The music score is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And YouTube actually has the soundtrack to it. Will Graham's theme. Just type that in and you have it. It's amazing. But just quickly say, Manhunter to me is a better film, more superior film than Silence of the Lambs. Now that's just me.
Yeah. No,
I think people would disagree with that, Dan. But for me, I think.
But it came out before, didn't it? It was a year or two before.
1986. It came out 1986, based on the Thomas Harris book, Red Dragon.
Yeah.
And then Thomas Harris took over Silence of the Lambs, and then obviously
not that I've got anything against Silence of the Lambs, and I think Anthony Hopkins is a wonderful actor as well.
Absolutely, I think Silence of the Lambs is a great movie, but
it's not the same, is it? It's just
not the same. Manhunter, I think, is a better film. It's much more atmospheric. It has Tom Noonan is a scary individual as a tooth fairy, and Will Peterson has never been better. He's so real. You actually believe that he's the FBI Manhunter. It's an amazing film, and the style of it, Dan, the way it was shot, the use of color palettes was amazing in that film.
I just have this deep blue that I always think of when I think of that.
Him and the wife lying on the bed, and she's saying to him, "You're not to get too involved," and he's telling her, "I won't get too involved." And it's all done in this big deep blue, like you said.
Yeah.
The whole room was cut. The background is all this deep blue. It's an amazing film. It's absolutely amazing movie.
Yeah. In terms of colors in films, it's funny, isn't it? There's some films that just pop with certain colors, aren't there?
Absolutely, yeah. Color palette is very important in movies. And it's
I want to know, actually, you've just reminded me, and Jeremy Irons. Yeah. He did around a similar time, maybe a couple of years later, he did, and I can't remember what it's called, but he played twin surgeons.
He played twins, yeah. Twin doctor. He was a twin doctor.
And that's a dark film.
Dark movie, Dan. That's very dark. I think that was in 1988, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called now. I'll have to look it
up. I
up.
can't think of it either. It's on top of my tongue. It will come to me.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
That's a dark. There's some really good films. There used to be on Channel 2, Dead Ringers. That's it.
That's it.
There used to be a TV guy on BBC Two, because I didn't know I loved cinema until he used to do this thing on BBC Two on a Friday or Saturday night, and he played a double bill of films. And I remember he did Outsiders and Rumblefish one week. He did, I used to tape them religiously. I had a stock of films. I just absolutely loved it. Because a good film, you're there. You're not in your own head for 2 hours. A good film can't last long enough. You could watch it all day and all night, but there is something very different about a good film, because they condense everything into a format. There's less puffiness.
You just mentioned a few films there on the list, Dan. So I'd just like to go back and tell you a few stories about a few of those films that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So first of all, I have to say to you that I was lucky enough to meet a couple of those actors that you just mentioned. Jack Nicholson.
I mean, he is a goat, isn't he? I mean, he's
both Dan. I met him on a street called Wicklow Street in Dublin City.
Yeah.
And I tell you what happened. I was actually going to a comic store, and I turned the behind. It was a Saturday, and I bounced into this man, and I just said sorry, and I could hear him saying, "No problem, kid." And I know I'd by the accent, and I just looked, and here he was standing right in front of me, Jack Nicholson, and he had these two big, massive security men with him, Dan, and I just said, will I say something or will I just leave him alone? So I decided to leave him alone. But to be honest, Dan, he looked like a fella now you couldn't approach. Now maybe I'm wrong, but
some people I don't think I'd wanna have. There are some people who are just too big. They represent too many game-changing characters. You know, Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Yeah.
I have to say The Shining is one of the best made films ever.
It's a great movie. Great movie. I actually had this conversation with another movie fan one time. He said to me that he thinks that Jack Nicholson's performance in The Shining is one of the worst performances he ever saw in film. And I asked him the question, why do you say that? And he said that he thought that Jack Nicholson was like a cartoon character and that he was way over the top. And I said, you don't really understand then his character. You don't understand what that whole performance was about. So I had this whole conversation with him. And at the end of the conversation, he just looked at me and said, I think you're after speaking a lot of waffle. I still think that is the worst performance I ever saw in film. And I take that to my grave. And I was like, you're entitled to your opinion, mate.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you get a feeling that there's something behind that. Because even if you don't think it's his best performance, and I can understand that because he's so great in other films, but like it's not the worst performance of any film I've ever seen. I mean, like I could definitely play some films where you go, have you seen Jaws 4? It's like
exactly. Dan, The Shining, let's get something straight here. The Shining is a classic film. And Jack Nicholson's character was played down to a T by Jack Nicholson. That was his character, and it was.
It's never occurred to me that it's anything but a great performance.
It's a great performance, and Stanley Kubrick was one of his best. And
he must have been I forget what her name is, but she suffered that film.
She suffered, but Stanley Kubrick was an absolute bastard to her.
Yeah,
he gave her a nightmare on the set. And she was literally walking on her nerves, like she was
pneumonia at one point, didn't she? She had
she got a tough. But that's a great movie. But the other one, then you mentioned Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
and I remember, Dan, I was queuing up for the life of me. I cannot remember what film it was, but I was queuing up in the Savoy Cinema in Dublin City to watch this summer blockbuster, and I remember a line of people. And at the very top, there was a man about 7 foot tall, shouting down the queue. He was a madman, but he kept on screaming at people, go see the Shawshank Redemption. Go see the Shawshank Redemption. And I never even heard of the Shawshank. So I get to the girl at the counter and I say to her, can I get a ticket for Stargate or whatever it was at the time?
Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's something. And the next thing the girl said to me, sorry, we have no tickets left. And I said, fuck. I'm at the coming out. Look, give me a ticket for this Shawshank Redemption. So she gave me a ticket for that. I went into the screen, Dan. There was 4 other people in the cinema to watch it. And I walked over, Dan. I turned around and I got another ticket and I went in to see it the second time. I
can fully understand that. I read the book first. It's not a book; it's a novella. It's in this. He writes in the beginning of. I was on holiday. I'd read my book. My girlfriend said, "Oh, you can read mine." I said, I've never read Stephen King," and she said, "Oh, this isn't like his other stuff." There's 4 in the intro. He writes about it. He says these are too short to be novels, but they're too long to be short stories. They're kind of novellas. In it, it's Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption, the Body, which becomes The Stand, or the other way around. And there's one about breathing technique where a woman gets decapitated and has her baby anyway, which is a bit daft, and it's at the end. But the other one is about a young boy who grows up with a Nazi war criminal next door to him, and that was made into a film.
Yeah.
But I read Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption and loved it. But I read it not realizing the film had already been out.
Right.
Well, I saw the posters for the film. I remember being on my way to school and seeing the posters and thinking, I don't know what that's about. It doesn't make any sense to me. It never really moved me to want to see it. But then I can't remember the first time I saw it. But the minute I saw it was in the book. Obviously, his name's Andy Dufresne, but it's spelled Dufresne.
Right.
So the whole way I'm reading it as Andy Dufresne. Right. And as soon as you hear Morgan Freeman go, I still remember the first time I met Andy Dufresne. I was like, oh, Dufresne. It's like, well, what? You know, it's better than the book. That doesn't happen a lot.
It's a masterpiece. And I was lucky enough, Dan, to sit here and tell you that I had the great privilege in meeting and talking to Mr. Morgan Freeman.
He's a legend.
Morgan Freeman, I tell you quickly, the first thing he said to me, and it's just summed him up in a nutshell. I walked over to him, I put my hand out to shake his hand. It was in Merrion Square Hotel in Dublin. And I said to him, Mr. Freeman, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he looked at me and said, son, my name is not Mr. Freeman. My parents christened me Morgan. And I went, wow, what a fucking man. And his voice, Dan, his voice. Oh,
the voice is something else. The voice is
something you listen to him you listen to him.
It's the voice of God now, isn't it? I mean, that's what it is now. You know, if you're casting it, I'd like to tell you that Andy fought a good fight. He did. He got that fight.
Oh, Dan.
It's that there are so many times where it doesn't matter what clip pops up from that, whether it's it's a great performance by Tim Robbins. But it's Ziwatanehu, you know, get busy living or get busy dying. There's so many moments in that film where things happen that you're not expecting. It's a brilliant film.
And to put that film into one word, Dan, just one word to describe that movie. Hope. H-O-P-E. That's what that movie's about.
Yep.
And it's amazing, the performance. Yep. And Frank Darabont, the director, he went on then and he directed The Green Mile.
So The Green Mile is another one of those. It's not, I don't think it's in the same bracket, but The Green Mile is a film which is the execution scene is based on a true story.
That's right.
His name is Jesse Tufero, and I met funnily enough, she only died a couple of months ago or 6 weeks ago. But Sonny Jacobs, who lived in Ireland, she was on death row and her husband was on death row. And she knew that he hadn't done it because she was there. She knew she hadn't done it. And anyway, it was a big scandal. But his head, actually, they used a synthetic sponge. And he died in 7 minutes. They had to execute him 3 times. It's The Green Mile based on that. And this is where we come to what I was saying in the beginning, what I was trying to say. Films take you to a level of empathy that I remember reading about, you know, when novels were first popularized in the 1700s, and you'd have grown men reading for the first time ever. They'd put themselves in the mind of a scullery maid or somebody living a life completely different from them. And that's what films do. Films take you immediately. You watch Rocky, you feel like you're Rocky.
100%.
You know? And that I don't know of anything. Listen, I love music, I love books, I love TV series, but films are so special and so magical and mean so much to us because you know you're watching a good film when no one says anything.
Yeah.
And I had the boys watch, but I also think they do more than that. If I'm honest, I think that films actually they train you a little bit as well. So I had my 2 teenage stepsons watch Saving Private Ryan with me,
right?
Because I wanted them to feel it. I wanted them to feel the senselessness of war, how horrible it is and horrifying it is and how chaotic it is and all of those things. But that's more than just art then, isn't it? That's human experience.
It's an experience. Movies are an experience, Dan. Like you said, it's a great word. It is an experience. And Saving Private Ryan, that you mentioned it, they searched all the different beaches right across Europe to make that first scene, the D-Day landings. And he actually filmed all of that on a beach that literally 15, 20-minute drive away from where I live.
Really? Were you there when they filmed? I mean, was that... Must have been thousands of people. Must have been good for the local
Irish Army and all the lads don't film all that. I know lots of the lads that actually ended up with lots of flus, and some actually end up in hospital because of the water scene. It was that cold. And but look at it, it brought a lot to the community, and it was great excitement and all the rest of it. Yeah. And then to watch it on the big screen, to imagine that that's the beach that we walk, and to turn it into
that's such a Spielberg film as well, isn't it? He gets the heartstrings. He twists those heartstrings so well.
But Spielberg, look at some people like him, other people don't. As a movie maker, he's probably the greatest movie maker of all time.
I mean, you wouldn't hear any argument from me. I think it's subjective. I think it's interesting listening to people. I think Tarantino said it as well. He said, like, Spielberg couldn't have made, no one else could have made Schindler's List. But can you imagine if Stanley Kubrick had made it? You get a very different film. But I think with Spielberg, what you get is that lift, and then he gives you just enough, like you were saying before, hope. There has to be hope in a film. Relentlessly negative, and it just doesn't work. I want to rattle through. There's some great comments, by the way.
Dan, just say to you about Schindler's List. I'd just like to say to you that, can you name me another filmmaker that will actually make Schindler's List and Jurassic Park all in 1 year?
Just like, well, Jurassic Park,
how's that done?
Yeah, I mean, I think he phoned that one in. I mean, it's not rude, I mean, it's like that just I couldn't be bothered with it. But I know a lot of people love it, so I'll put that down to me just being a bit of an oddball. So hang on, I'm gonna get through this. Please make sure you like. Rosie's with the likes and subscribes. We are going to move this to its own channel, but just want to get it going and just wanted to get started. Really been excited about it. Scum and Nil by Mouth are great films, Rosie saying. Kathy Burke is brilliant in it. She just is.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
You've got to have lived that to know how to act that the way she does. She's so
100% Dan.
She's so good in it. I mean, she's a treasure. She's an absolute treasure. Bella, Italian movie, I think. The Last Samurai, The Matrix, and Rush. Probably forgetting some. I don't watch many movies. I wasn't mad about The Matrix.
Loved The Matrix 1. Hated The Matrix 2 and 3.
I didn't
love the 4.
I saw somebody on a YouTube channel last week saying The Matrix was a documentary. I'm like, all right then. Nath, great to see you, by the way. I love Heat, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, and De Niro. Wish I'd got to see it in the cinema. It's that needs editing as well.
Dan, I think it's a masterpiece, bro. I think Heat is an absolute masterpiece. I love every second of it. I actually wish it was longer. I love it.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you because I liked it. I mean, I love it. But are you really telling me that you couldn't shave another half hour off that film? There's a lot of...
I want to add on a half an hour, Dan.
The De Niro, and the first time De Niro and Pacino are in a scene together, that's pretty special.
Yeah, it's great, Dan. I think it's a great film. Michael Mann at the boss seat, the director. I think it's just, once again, Dan, the acting in it is brilliant. I think the writing is brilliant. I think the characters are all all character actors in the film. Val Kilmer was brilliant.
It's brilliant. That's his best. I think that's his best film. I think Val Kilmer's best film is Heat, probably.
Yeah, it's great. And that shootout outside the bank, my
crazy.
God.
Well, that reminds me a little bit of Point Break.
Point Break?
Yeah, the original, obviously. I know.
Yeah, Dan, I tell you, it's interesting about Point Break. I did. There was a movie reviewer who got in touch with me, and he said, "Listen, I have a little idea. We pick out a film, You give positive, I give negative, or vice versa. And we did that for a few months, and he gave up on us. So we did Point Break, and I did the positive, he did the negative. I actually thought Point Break was probably one of the best action films made of the 90s. I thought it was really, really good film. And then look, Stroop it's just fun. It's a fun movie. It's like Speed. I love Speed as well on the bus. Fun movie. Stroop acting is not great. But
That's just silly.
you just get a bit of entertainment from it. That's all it was.
I love that. That's something that we don't. That's not happening enough anymore. Most films now, cinemas aren't taking risks on films. I know Speed's not exactly a risk, but
no. But the other thing is about cinema these days, Dan, every single fucking movie has to be 2.5 hours long. Whatever happened to the 90-minute, the hour and 40-minute mark? Whatever happened to that?
Well, I think if you're spending that much money on a film, you want to be in there all night, don't you? I just think
Jesus,
I don't mind. I like long films.
I do as well, Dan. But there is films out there that should not be 2.5 hours long.
There's films out there that shouldn't be 2.5 minutes long. I think we started off talking about Gladiator 2. I could have done that in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like just have the aliens turn up sooner. Boy 10 D has written Scarface, not a movie. Scarface and The Godfather definitely transcend film. They do.
The original Scarface. The original Scarface was actually very good.
It was Jimmy Cagney, isn't it? Or
back in the day, yeah. It was really.
Now look here, see. Now look here.
Yeah, completely different than the Al Pacino butcher. Look.
I think old gangster films don't do much for me, you know.
No.
But I mean, maybe I should go back and watch them. But
I'll tell you one film you should watch, Dan, if you haven't watched it. Old film, black and white. Marlon Brando on the waterfront.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's an absolute classic. Do you know what? I think him in The Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, though. Marlon Brando is he's iconic. You know, like I mean, he is a certain type of actor that just obviously invests himself into a film. But he will now for always be remembered as Kurtz, you know, General Kurtz, and for Superman, you know, costing $1 million to do the first 3 minutes of Superman. There's so much about Marlon Brando that when you see him in a film like Cat on Hot Tin Roof, or when you see him on the waterfront, I could have been a contender. It's almost become cliche now, but it is so kind of. It is. It's not one of my favorite films, but Marlon Brando always. And you think how many actors came after Brando that wanted to basically be Brando? And I'm trying to think very much of his name now. I can't remember it. It's on tip of my tongue. He played the wrestler. Had the Mickey Rourke. Basically, he was at the same school as Brando, and he came through, and he was the next Brando. And there's something about those ultra cool guys that don't say much, that just have this look about them. You know, like with where Marlon Brando's like, "What are you rebelling against? What have you got?" A fucking brilliant line. I mean, every teenage boy wants to be either Brando or Jimmy Dean. You know, that's sort of surly, sultry. That's what, And there's a great line to bring it back to Sopranos. And I find myself thinking that now that we live in we're getting on a bit, and younger men come through, and you look and go, where are all the Gary Coopers? Where are the men that just dealt with their problems and didn't bitch about everything? Yeah. And didn't go, I don't feel well today. That's the role models, cinematic role models we had growing up, were tough guys, like get off your horse and drink your milk, all that kind of. That's that. I think cinema. If you want to explain, the impact of cinema, it changes. I remember, this will make you laugh, right? My mum decided that we were going to go off and live in Dubai when I was 6 years old. So we spent a couple of years out there, and we used to go to the cinema every Saturday. It was religious. It was like our family. Me and my mum would go to cinema. It was called the Concorde in Sharjah, which is one of the Emirates, and we would watch 3 films, a triple bill. We'd get there about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning, and we'd stay till 5 or 6 at night, and we'd go home, and there were no ratings, so we'd go in there and just watch whatever else. Convoy was on there, but I remember it's got a different name in this country. Fists of Fury, I think it was over here. But the Bruce Lee film that was called in the Middle East was called The Big Boss.
Yeah.
And it's graphic and bloody and violent, but it's a story of how a man promises his mum he's not going to fight back, even though he's like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And then the next film in this particular afternoon was Piranha.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where a fat guy gets eaten alive by, and my mum's kind of like, he's 7. Should he be watching this?
Yeah.
But like, she let me sit through The Big Boss and Piranha, and then this Italian softcore porn film came on where you just saw breasts and stuff. She's like, get outside. So I'm in the foyer waiting for the film to finish, like peeking my head around, not at all interested in breasts at 7 years old. But I'm standing in front of the mirror and I'm making the faces of Bruce Lee. I was convinced that I could look like Bruce Lee. To this day, I wish I looked like Bruce Lee. Do you know what I mean? That's how people are.
Yeah.
That's a life lesson, don't fight until you have to, but then beat that shit out of everyone for like 5 blocks.
Yeah. But the other thing, Dan, is that you hit it on Dubai and you also hit it on Bruce Lee. And I suppose for me, Dan, with the love and the passion I have for film, I actually have a fascination for Asian movies as well. And I've seen some great Asian movies, foreign language, subtitle movies. And I'm not sitting here saying, Dan, you want to start watching all these Asian movies and the chat better start. This is just because I've this crazy thing about movies. But like war, you talk about war, but you talk about Saving Private Ryan, Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is my favorite war movie of all time. That's just my opinion. But I saw an Asian movie about North Korea and South Korea war, made in Asia. A film called 71 Into the Fire. The trailer alone will have you fucking sitting on the edge of your seats. The film, I have it home on Blu-ray. The film is absolutely...
When was it out? What's it called? 71 Into the Fire?
71 Into the Fire. It's Donnie Yen, I think his name is in it.
I love what you're saying, because this is one of the things like where now that we have streaming services, we have so much access. Someone was mentioning, I can't remember who was talking about it. Mike, who was it? Which of you was talking about can we talk about manga? Is it manga or no? I have to go back. There are so many types of everything counts in cinema, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Every style. You can appreciate something from. In music, people always go, "What type of music do you like?" And I hate that question. Anime, that's it. Boy Tendia, thank you so much. Anime. Does anime count? There is a place for every. I mean, you get great. If you get the best of any genre or any type, it's going to be classic. It's going to be everyone will enjoy it. I think there are some terrible martial arts films, and there are some amazing martial arts films. Most cowboy films I'm not that bothered by, but the occasional good one. I think we're going to do a whole section on cowboy films because I'm just getting into them. And
absolutely, I love them.
Yeah, there's some really good ones. But in terms of Asian films, I grew, because when we're in the Middle East, there's a large Indian community. So I grew up with Bollywood, was just part of my background.
Yeah.
And I never really, I never think of it in the same way, because they are song and dance numbers. It's much more like I imagine cinema of the 1930s was,
Yeah. They had last few years, maybe 2-3 years ago. The years going by so quick that Netflix has a film called RRR, and it was a Bollywood action movie. And it was actually, look, it's over the top stuff, Dan, but it's actually give you a good insight into what Bollywood is all about. Anime, there's a place there for anime. Personally,
I haven't watched much of it though. I think I've seen so little of it. I can't comment. I'm open to new ideas.
It's not for me, Dan. But again,
it's hard for me to say that because I haven't seen enough of it to know that I don't like it. But there's a reason for that as well. I'm not choosing.
The thing is, though, Dan, with a show like this, the chat will mention films that me and you probably never saw.
Yeah.
And then that means then that I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch this film that the chat has just told me about. Or if the chat say, Kai, listen.
Well, you know for a fact I'm watching State of Grace.
Yeah, definitely. And watch 71 Into the Fire.
Out of the 2, which is one I should watch tonight?
State of Grace.
There you go.
And get your mindset down for an Asian film with subtitles. But
do you know what?
It's worth it, Dan.
I don't mind subtitles. I like to look at the screen.
Yeah. It's a great movie. It's great. When you talk about the Asian movies, I'll just name out a few. Ip Man.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, all right, but
yeah.
The kung fu in that is brilliant. It's all Wing Chun, and obviously, I did start learning Wing Chun, so I was always fascinated by Ip Man, and
yeah.
The thing is, with all of those kung fu films, I mean, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is the best of. I mean, for me, you can't really beat Enter the Dragon or like the Bruce Lee. Absolutely nailed those.
Yeah,
the fight scenes are about right, but the reality of kung fu versus, you don't see kung fu winning any cage fights, do you? It's not really a fighting style that works. But so when you see it in the films, it's all a little bit too. I don't know. It doesn't.
Fantasy.
Huh?
It's a fantasy. That's what it is.
It is, but it's not a fantasy that I'm really. I'm not really getting it. And I think some of the old martial arts films I grew up watching, they were just so bad. They were lovably bad. What do you got? The early Bruce Lee films when he went to Hong Kong, and he couldn't speak. He was dubbed into English, and I'll never forget. What are you dogs doing around here? And it's like just it's all the sound effects where you just go like, what is that?
Yeah.
In terms of like big, I don't think of them as big cinema. I think of them as sort of VHS.
VHS. That's where I look at it. Yeah.
For a cinematic.
There's an interesting thing for you. Did you ever watch the Raid 1 and the Raid 2?
No, I've never even heard of them.
Type them into, write them down on a piece of paper or whatever you have in front of you there. The Raid 1 and the Raid 2. And the reason why I'm saying it to you is two of them films, some of the best action movies I ever saw. And it has the kung fu and all in it, Dan. Yeah. Once again, you have to leave your brain cell at the door, obviously. You can't go into films like that with intelligence. Well, but for what it is, the two of them films are absolutely stunning to watch.
I've just looked out, a Malaysian made film. I'd give that a go. Boy 10 Diaz said, been meaning to watch Ip Man for a while. It's all right.
Yeah, Ip Man, I love Ip Man, and I loved Ip Man 2. But then it got ridiculous then with Ip Man 3, and it got absolutely shambolic with Ip Man against Mike Tyson.
Oh, so I haven't even heard of that.
So forget about
there's Ip Man against a Loch Ness monster, and
exactly. Forget about that.
Godzilla.
But I would say to look at Ip Man 1 and Ip Man 2, 100%.
What about Ip Man versus Predator? Here's best question for you. All right, because you talk about brain films you don't have to watch your brain for. He has been in some films where actually you have to say these are good films. But by and large, this is not grey matter that you're using. Arnold Schwarzenegger. There are some. I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously Conan, like silly film. But there are some Kindergarten Cop, Twins. He's done a little bit of everything, hasn't he, old Arnie?
Schwarzenegger's done a lot. Schwarzenegger had a tough upbringing. His father was a real bastard.
He's from a small town in Graz.
Yeah.
He grew up. They didn't have much after the war.
Didn't have much at all, Dan, and his father was very disciplined. And
Nazi.
He had his dad was a police officer as well as an army fella, but he wanted Schwarzenegger to go be a policeman. But Schwarzenegger had other ideas. He wanted to be a bodybuilder. Yeah. But in his head, and fair play to Arnold Schwarzenegger, in his head, he just didn't want to be a bodybuilder. He wanted to be the best bodybuilder in the world. And he's had a dream, Dan, and through hard work and dedication, he achieved it.
Listen, do you know what I think is absolutely incredible about, and Rosie's just said here, one of my all favourite Arnie movies is the Netflix, and it is absolutely brilliant. And listen, I'm Austrian, so I have a real affinity for Arnie because we take the piss out of him in Austria because now he speaks Austrian he says more English words than German words. He goes, I have a manager and I get him jogging and with my so it's like but it's exactly what he said. He comes from a small town in Austria. They're broke. He starts pumping iron from a very young age to get as big as Atlas, who is the big guy at the time. He goes to America to become Mr. Universe, but beyond that, his dream is to be a leading man. The guy speaks no English. He's not exactly leading man material in any films. But this takes me to another point, actually, segue to Danny DeVito, obviously, who plays alongside him in Twins. And I love both of them for different reasons. Danny DeVito used to go to every audition. He'd go to Conan and they'd be like, what are you here for? Which part are you here for? He said, I'm here to do Conan. And I remember you're like, you're not even 5 foot tall. No, but I can do it. I can do it. And he, when I heard him interviewed about it, and he'd say, the thing is, you go to every audition because one day they're going to be like, oh, we need a funny, annoying guy who's under five. Right? So for the two of them to be so successful, and ultimately, I mean, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger reached the top of their game, and neither of them should have done. And I think that says so much for what, I think the recurring theme of tonight's show could well be hope, because they both do that with hope. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think if the law wasn't against it, would have been president of the United States.
Absolutely, Dan. The man could achieve anything he put his mind to.
Governor of California.
Yeah, and he done it. And he not only became a leading man, but for Terminator 2, I think he was getting paid something like $2 million per word. Per word.
Is that why they gave him so few words?
Yeah, because it was unheard of at the time, Dan.
I know.
And this man was making serious money. $20 million a movie. And he did all sorts of movies. And some are not. Look, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Terminator 1 for me was a classic. Terminator 2 was a classic.
Yeah.
Predator, Part 1, the original Predator. Loved it.
No, I wasn't mad about it. Commando was terrible.
Commando was absolutely. I watched. I was on television there about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I hadn't seen it for years, Dan. And I watched it. It was horrendous.
It's terrible. It was exactly what from Action. One of my favorite lines of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'd love to hear in the comments what people think, but you cannot beat Total Recall. Consider this a divorce.
But I really enjoyed Total Recall.
Yeah, I can't believe they remade it. You must have seen the remake.
Colin Farrell was absolutely horrendous.
I love Colin Farrell as well. I think he's brilliant.
And you know what they're doing now, Dan? They're after making The Running Man.
Oh, no, that's just silly. I mean, that was a shit film, but it was at the time. Do you know what? You just reminded me. I think I mentioned this to you when we were last talking. I got the missus to watch 7 Psychopaths.
Yeah.
What a film.
Yeah. Brilliant.
What a film.
Brilliant. And not a word said about it, Dan.
What's that?
Not a word said about it. It's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, why is that? I mean, that's Christopher Walken. The bit where he's like, put your hands up. No.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't want to. but I've got a gun. I don't care. It's like fucking that on its own is a scene that you will never forget. But it's just so stupidly funny.
Colin Farrell is an interesting fella. A lot of people don't like Colin Farrell, and
they're wrong. End of conversation.
Did you watch the film?
In Bruges is just fucking brilliant. In Bruges is just fucking brilliant.
That's brilliant. Did you see Tigerland?
Tigerland?
Army film. War
no,
film.
no, I don't think it. No.
But Colin Farrell is in it. Colin Farrell, he's excellent in it. And
what was I watching for about 30 minutes before I realised it was Colin Farrell? He does the Penguin, doesn't he?
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
What? That's Colin Farrell. It's a little bit like Gary Oldman in Churchill. I knew he was in it, but I was about 20 minutes in. I thought, hang on a minute, he's playing Churchill.
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a film, it's a cop film. The cop film, Colin Farrell is a bad bastard in it. What is the name of the film?
I'm looking up all his films. I absolutely love him.
If you haven't seen the cop film that he's in, he's a real bad bastard. There's a scene with a baby in it, and I tell you, you'll be on the edge of your seat. What is the name of it? I cannot think the name of it.
Let me get acting credits and all. Hang on now. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it would. Yeah, what was that one he did? They did the Two Idiots where they stopped talking to each other. In his it's
yes,
it's a
the
beautiful.
Bad Sea of Inisherin.
Yeah, that's a beautiful film.
Beautiful film. I got stared down. I did a review for that film. And
what did you say about it? Because I don't know what to say about it. It's just one of those films. Like, if someone says, "Why did I like it?" I'm just like, they don't make enough films like that.
Yeah, I did it. I thought the performances from the two central actors.
Yeah,
were
they
brilliant.
are. But you know what you're getting from those.
You know what you're going to get. I thought it was a different kind of look on film. I thought it was differently made. I really thought it was a beautiful, haunting film, and I gave it a really good rating. I really enjoyed it. I came out of the cinema, had a good time with it, and I got absolutely slated. I got slated.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few reviews I've done with so much negative feedback. What are you talking about? It's rubbish.
Why did people not like that film? What is it? Were they
probably didn't understand it, Dan? Probably didn't understand this. Probably.
It's like a good old-fashioned story. It's like, if you can relate, every man who's got a mate can relate to it.
Can relate to it.
You just go, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You fucking that's it. It's I don't hate you. I just don't want to hear from you again. I've had enough. And they're stuck together in this. The great thing is they're stuck together in this rural Irish old. It's that thing. It's the aching thing of watching a character not do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
But they take it all the way. I thought it was a brilliant film. Really
absolutely, Dan. I totally agree with you, and I'm glad that you're one of the very few people that has actually agreed with me on that one.
I saw it. I mean, again, I didn't see it at the cinema. I wish I had.
Yeah,
I saw them interviewed about doing it, and they were talking about doing it. And obviously, Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell get on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
And they just had a really good time making it. And I don't know how you could not like it. I love a slower paced film, though. Although I will draw the line at something like oh God, what was the one filmed in Scotland? Local Hero. Bored the shit out of me.
No, I didn't even watch it, Dan.
It's a film from the 80s. It's so up itself. But Paris, Texas, I wanted to like it more than I did. The soundtrack is absolutely outstanding.
I didn't watch that one either. I stayed away from that one as well.
These are sort of arty 80s films, a bit more pretension than actual content. But anything Colin Farrell, I'd give a go. But Seven Psychopaths, I honestly don't know why that isn't more celebrated, because it's darkly funny. I mean, it is darkly funny.
Yeah.
You know what? It reminds. I love a bit dark humor, but Tarantino got that right with Once Upon a Time in the West as well, didn't he? In Hollywood, sorry, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, yeah. Which again was a film I went to see. First time saw it, second time I saw it, much better.
Do you know, it's funny you say that, because me and the missus sat down to watch it, and then we couldn't get all the way through it. So we said, look, we'll watch the second half later. And we didn't watch the second half for so long that we were just like, we better start watching from the beginning. And the second time I watched it, I got all the way through it and loved it.
Yeah.
But it's not Tarantino's best film, is it?
No, it's not Tarantino's best film. But the thing is, Dan, there's certain films that you see the first time. I'll tell you, give you a perfect example. I went to the cinema to see Dune Part 1. And I came out of the cinema and I wrote a review. And I absolutely went to town on the film. I was so disappointed. I thought it was
all over substance. Nothing happened. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? It's like, who cares?
Dan, I didn't like it. And then, Dan, Part 2 was coming to the cinema.
So I haven't seen Part 2 yet. I haven't seen Part 2. But
a friend of mine,
the boys have seen 1, and the missus hasn't. So we're all waiting for her to watch 1. And she keeps saying, "Am I going to enjoy it?" And I'm like, I watched it on a plane. I think that's about the best place to watch it, because you're there anyway.
Dad, I tell you, my friend said to me, "Kai, you hated Dune 1, so are you looking forward to Dune 2?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "But you're wrong. You have to look at Dune 1 again, because you're wrong. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know. You weren't in the frame mind. You weren't in the humor. You missed something." go back and watch part 1 again. So then I bought it because I have a huge collection of films at home.
Yeah.
So I bought it on 4K. Came home one night. I said, fuck it now. Dune 2 is out next week. I'll have a look at this Dune 1 again. Threw it on the 4K recorder, sat back, pressed play, pulled the curtains on my own. I was absolutely fucking blown away. Loved it.
It's just cinema. Do you know what? It's this sort of film. It's like reading a magazine, just looking at the pictures.
Second time was really, really great watch. And I went to see part 2.
Yeah.
And Dan.
Hated it.
Dan, best film of 2024 for me. I loved it. And I saw Dune 2 with the cinema, I think, 3 times. I thought Dune 2 was fucking great.
You say that though, best film of 24. There's not a lot of competition.
I've
been so disappointed, like in the last couple of years. I thought Oppenheimer was going to be good. Bored the shit out of me. You know, like there's so
Oppenheimer is it's a good film, but why? I don't understand why it was made. What like?
No, it doesn't. Nothing about that story revealed anything new, or
no. We all know what happened, and
yeah,
I just think that it was kind of. It's definitely not Christopher Nolan's best film by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh fuck no! I mean, Dark Knight, right?
Dark Knight, great movie.
That's in my top. Look, it's impossible to really do your top 5, isn't it?
Yeah, but Dark Knight's amazing. I love Batman Begins too. I love Batman Begins.
But listen, don't get me wrong. I was sat at home. I used to play poker for a living, and it was late at night. And I used to have, the movie channel. Like you could download movies. And I used to watch movies because I used to listen to radio or have a film on in the background. I was like, what's this Batman Begins? They haven't done another silly Batman film, have they? And I put it on and I turned it, and I was like transfixed. I was like, God, Christian Bale is amazing.
Yeah.
He's probably one of my favorite actors of all time. And I fell in love with it. So when Dark Knight came out, I was like, they took it another level. The sad thing is, I know we're about to sign Old Bane, aren't we? But that was a disappointing film from the sound quality.
Yeah, it was disappointing, Dan. I couldn't understand this because like it could have been one of the greatest trilogies ever made. And
it's so close, isn't it?
It's so close. So close.
If they could just go and redo the third one.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Hardy is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Both.
Both. Let's forget those fucking Venom movies.
Oh, but all right, but there are. I think we watched Venom 2 as a family about 6 weeks ago, and when they did the trailer for Venom 3, we all just looked at each other and went, nah. But he's bought himself a house and a car and probably lots of. He never worked.
Absolutely,
again.
He did for the money, but he was brilliant. He was brilliant in Legend, the craze.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, because they did that. They already did the Cray film with the Kemp brothers.
Yeah,
and Legend is so much better.
So much better.
It's absurdly better. This is what's funny. After the Crays, you have 2 actual twins, and they both basically are the same. And in Legend, you've got one man, and he's completely different, and he really captures a subtle difference of that. That fight scene where he's taking a piss out of the guy who's got a rolling pin, and then he goes, psychopath walks into a bar. It's graphic violence is horrible. But I tell you what, the Tom Hardy film that I think most blew me away was Bronson.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Dan, there's another one that blew me away. This is Tom Hardy. Yeah, this is Tom Hardy. Warrior.
Oh yeah. The fighting one.
with the brother and Nick.
It came out about the same time as The Wrestler, didn't it? It came out about that is an awesome film.
Nick Nolte is the father.
Yeah, it's an awesome film.
I thought that was a masterpiece, Dan.
Oh, I'm a sucker for a fight film anyway. You know, like one of the first films I ever watched on VHS was The Champ.
With
John Voight. Well, it's so sad, isn't it? Daddy, somebody wake him up.
I keep talking to the I'm going down here to the front of the bus to plug in the charger and hope that won't charge itself.
Yeah,
just bear with me.
Yeah. Well, I'll go through some of the comments. It's brilliant that you guys have been here with us. Our first ever film night. This is a great comment from Boy Tendio. Cinema makes the world shift gears. As a world and after Star Wars, The Matrix, the MCU should probably watch Gone with the Wind someday soon. I was talking about Gone with the Wind yesterday with a family, and I watched it, and there's obviously the part in it where you think it's over and then it goes again, and it's like it's a very long film. But yeah, the world before I watched Pulp Fiction and the world after Pulp Fiction was never the same. I saw Pulp Fiction because the girl I was living with at the time, we used to like to go to the cinema when it was affordable. And I remember the week before, it was her choice, and she'd taken me to see Jessica Palmer in the woman from Sex and the City, and she had this film called Miami Rhapsody, and I just hated it. So the next week, I worked really hard at the time. I was working all the hours God sent, and she said, "Well, you pick one." And I realized I got to the cinema and I didn't know what was on. So she said, "Well, let's watch Pulp Fiction. I want to see that." And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be another dreadful film." And I sat down. We were in the front row because I wanted to sit in the front row, and Pulp Fiction just happened to me. And I've never had a better experience in the cinema in my life. It was like, you know, like the bit where I'm sorry, did I break your concentration? Where he shot the guy on the sofa. And I'm like, did that just happen? I'm looking around the cinema going, the dialogue that Tarantino just goes, yeah, this dialogue doesn't move the plot at all. It's literally just interesting dialogue. The characters were outstanding. The cinematics, the music, bam, 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 you know, everything about that film is wonderful. And then I rushed off to get a copy of Reservoir Dogs off a bloke at Camden Town Market, and it was dodgy, but we bought Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Natural Born Killers in a box set trilogy. Natural Born Killers didn't work, which, you know, when I did finally see it, I was like, not a very good film. But Pulp Fiction, that there is a life before I saw Pulp Fiction, and then there's my life after I saw Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction changes you a little bit. It's too cool. Your sound's gone a bit worse. There you go. That's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction is an amazing film.
I love Tarantino. Tarantino. I saw Django Unchained in the cinema on my birthday. I fucking loved it. I watched it a year later at home on my birthday. Didn't really like it. Watched it a couple of years later. Loved it again. There's just too many layers in his films.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing his 10th film. It's supposed to be a film called The Movie Critic, and it's about a movie. Obviously, it's about a movie critic. So if that's the case, I'm really looking forward to that one.
I think he should have stopped. I think he said it as well. I think really great directors, like really great bands, their first stuff is their best stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't really. I would still put Pulp Fiction ahead of Reservoir Dogs.
I would too.
But I mean, yeah, we lost Michael Madsen recently.
Yeah.
And he is super stylish in that film. You know, stuck in the middle with you is never gonna. Jackie Brown, Nath is saying, great to see you, Nath, saying Jackie Brown doesn't get enough recognition.
Doesn't.
I wasn't mad about it, but I find it. Yeah, I didn't do anything for me really.
I liked it now. I did like. I got good fun with that. Yeah, it was again. I can understand why it doesn't get the recognition.
It's just
a lot more people didn't like it than people that did like it. I'll put it that way to you.
I think the Hateful Eight, Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah,
these are films I really loved. Oh, Django Unchained, I think now my position on it is I really like it, but it's a weird one that you can love a film, hate a film, love a film. But no, Jackie Brown didn't. I wasn't really that fussed by it. But I've seen Tarantino talking about it, saying maybe I should just quit. Maybe there's a good place to stop. Yeah,
it's interesting. There's no other filmmaker out there like him at the moment. That's the thing, Dan.
No, he's very on it. I think there's so much about him that is a throwback to old school directors.
Old school, yeah. You see, He's a film lover himself, Dan. He's a lover of film.
Yeah. You can absolutely tell that. I mean, but I remember buying I used to go to comic shops quite a lot, and less so when I was in my. But after I went in. Someone said to me that they had a copy of the script, not like an original copy or anything, just a paper copy of the script for Pulp Fiction. And I remember buying that and just thinking. I remember the first time I read it, just going, "There's so few words on the page, but each of them is brilliant." Like like I said, "God damn!" And it literally jumps off the page at you, and you're reading it thinking, the bit about, I don't know, I didn't go to Burger King. It's like,
everything. It's just amazing. Like, this is a guy that worked in a video store in California, dreamed of being a movie director someday, writing scripts, and he used to spend his time writing scripts.
Huh?
And the legend has it that he had a copy of Reservoir Dogs in his bag, and he went on a lunch break, and he went into some random coffee shop, and he looked to his right, and here was Harvey Keitel sitting at a table having coffee. And Quentin walked over to Harvey and said to him, "Harvey Keitel, I'm a big fan. I've written this script, and I'm this and I'm that." And he talked about movies, and it was flowing out of Quentin. He was so excited he couldn't stop talking. And Harvey could pick up that this man has this knowledge of film and this passion for film. And he actually said to Quentin, "Give me the script. I'll read it overnight. Come back here to this coffee shop at 12 o'clock, whatever, tomorrow, and I'll tell you what I think of it." Same the next day, he goes to the place, meets Quentin, and says to Quentin, "This is my manager. And we actually believe you have something really special here." And the rest is history.
That's crazy.
The rest is history.
See, I love those stories about movies as much as I love movies, almost, because I've never heard that before, and I love that hope. Again, it's about the hope of a young artist. I love the story about Sly Stallone when he was absolutely broke and they couldn't afford to keep a dog, and they had to sell their car, and he gets offered $50,000 from the studio to make Rocky, but he can't be in it, and he goes, "No, I've got to be in it." And he has to go home and tell his missus, like, "I know we haven't got the rent money, $300 for rent money, but I've just turned down $50,000. And then they offer him $100,000 and he turns that down. And like, you look at it now and you go, well, yeah, I mean, you can't imagine anyone else playing Rocky. But I tell you what I find so incredible. What I still find incredible. I know Team America has changed the way we say Matt Damon forever, right? But Matt Damon writing Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, and Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Ben Affleck was there. Do you know what I mean? I remember my mate Jimmy, beautiful soul. I was playing poker. His name, I was Poker Dan. He was Jimmy the Porn, because he used to make porn films. And he had this dream that he didn't want to make porn films anymore. He wanted to make proper films. So he said, "I want to write." So I was like, we were boosting each other up, and I was staying with him, and I was going, come on, then we'll write. He was like, "Will you write a film with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. We'll banter ideas off each other." And I'll never forget, there's one time I'm sat on the sofa having a doobie, eating crisps and stuff, and he's just sitting there typing and sweating, and what do I write next? And he just turns to me and goes, "There's no prizes for guessing which one of us is the fucking Ben Affleck, is there?" And I was like, "Mate, I never wanted to make a film. It's some really good bits. It was it's a shame it never got any further, but we wrote bits together." But I think that's a bit unfair, and I know Matt Damon said that Ben Affleck plays pop, but the two of them, what were they, 18 or something? It's a beautiful film.
Yeah, and Good Will Hunting. What a film, Dan.
Yeah,
what a film.
Robin Williams again.
Absolutely, it's a brilliant movie. Brilliant movie.
You know that the big films in your life you quote a lot.
Yeah.
And that one is, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault." If I'm hugging someone, like for any reason at all, at a certain point, I'll go, "It's not your fault."
Yeah, it's not your fault. But Dan, once again, it just shows the originality of a screenplay.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, we don't get originality anymore. We don't get original screenplays anymore. I'm
glad you said that, because as you said it, I was like, why aren't they making films? Why is it? What is it? I don't want another Avengers film. No. I don't want an Aquaman 12. I want I want the odd film that comes out. There's what's that Korean film that was just brilliant?
Parasite.
Parasite was good. That was good. But there's another one as well. There's some. So I think there are people out there making great films, and nowadays it should be easier than ever to make films. No,
Should be, Dan. Like I go back there, Dan, talking about Dan. I'm sorry, man, because the years are going by so quick. In either last year or the year before, I saw two fucking great movies in the cinema. Now, maybe you might say, "Kind, you're talking shite," but I thought these two were really good, strong movies. Not big blockbusters by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought Blackberry was absolutely brilliant.
yeah,
About the Blackberry phone.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
No, but I'm getting bored of all the kind of, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of them. There's like, I really like The Founder. I thought it wasn't terrible. The Steve Jobs film I watched. I'm sick of those though.
Blackberry, put it down. You really enjoy it.
It's on the list. It's on the list, but I'm not convinced.
No, you come back and you say to me, "Kind, fair play," and I'm going to tell you another one.
Yeah.
Air, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck about the Nike Air.
Now interesting. I did see this one. Ben Affleck's brilliant in that, by the way. He's brilliant in that. He plays. But I read the actual autobiography of the guy that Ben Affleck plays in the film is fantastic.
Right.
Dog.
Right.
It's brilliant. It's one of the best autobiographies I've ever read because he's so passionate. And he talks about how he created the Nike brand from nothing. And it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful film. It's a tribute to all the people that made Nike a success. So when I saw the character that Ben Affleck plays is him, that's really what he's like in the autobiography. He's kind of like, he comes in and makes a mess of it. And he's like, he just believes in people, and that Air Jordan and the Jordan story is actually what happened. And the scene where his mum says, "I want a percentage."
Yeah.
And Matt Damon, you can see him going, "Oh, we're never going to get this done now."
Yeah.
And then Ben Affleck's character just goes, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
Which is huge. Just huge. I mean, it's just, I loved that film. I thought that film was brilliant, Dan. Do you know what? And I'm not a fan of Adam Sandler at all.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't get it. I don't hate Hustle. I thought
I really had a good time with Hustle. I thought Hustle was really good film.
Such a good film.
Yeah, really
such an emotional, good journey, feel good film.
Yeah,
I thought that was absolutely outstanding as a film.
And it's on Netflix, so if anybody hasn't watched it, tune into it.
Yeah, you can. I keep saying I said to the family a couple of weeks ago, so we should watch that, and they're like, "Yeah," and then something else came along and was better. But I was like, "You'll enjoy it. I promise you'll enjoy it."
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed enjoyable film. And I don't really know anything about I don't know anything about basketball. You don't have to.
No. Being honest about it, I went into that because I'm like you. I don't like Sandler, but that's that film.
I don't like Adam Sandler. I'm not crazy about basketball.
No,
but we were. I was in Bali, and it was. There were lots of mosquitoes, and we just had a night off. And I was just in the hotel room, and it wasn't even a hotel room, it was my friend's apartment. And it was just one of those ones where you're looking out going, I should be out. It's like, I'm not going to be here that long. I should be partying. But I just wanted to watch a film. So I just put it on. And it was, like you spend an hour and a half going through Netflix to try and decide something. I said, oh, fuck it, I'll just watch this. And I put it on. And within about 10 minutes, I was like, oh, wow, this is not what I was expecting at all. Adam Sandler's brilliant in it.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. He's
hugely convincing. He's just, but it's one of those ones where you just go, I wish you had a bit more about yourself. Just fucking, like he's downtrodden and everything. And
it's really good, Dan. Really good.
It's really good.
Well, I'd be interested to hear now because I said that year that I'm talking about with Air and Blackberry. So I'm looking forward to
23.
I'm looking forward to see what you think of Blackberry. I thought it was fantastic.
I just can't be bothered. I mean, I don't. I'm watching it because you're recommending it, but it will be so great to come back and say, "Fucking loved it."
Yeah, and I think you win.
So, what did we say? State of Grace or Blackberry?
I think tonight I go for State of Grace.
Okay.
And I'd be interested to hear what you think.
I think I'm Sean Penn worries me a little bit. I thought he was good in Carlito's Way.
He was very good, Carlito's Way.
That line where the mafia boss goes, "One button I press I snap you like a fucking breadstick. And there are just lines that just go through your head.
Yeah.
Snap you like a fucking breadstick. And it's just like, sometimes when you're in a meeting and it's dragging on a little bit, I think.
I actually thought Sean Penn was brilliant in Jesus.
4th of July.
Jesus. The film with Clint Eastwood directors. Mystery. Fuck's sake.
I wish it was called that. Mystery, fuck's sakes.
Oh, lads, I can't think. What's the name of that? I want to chat there. Clint Eastwood directed this.
Yeah, I'm just looking now.
Why can I not think of that?
He's done some good films, by the way, and he's done some not so good films.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen $1 Million. Maybe I have seen $1 Million Baby. I just
$1 Million Baby is a very good film.
Yeah.
What is the name of that Sean Penn fucking film?
Just like Mystic River.
Mystic River. I thought that was. Did you watch that one?
I've not seen that.
Oh, Dan, Tim Robbins, Sean Penn. It's excellent film.
Lawrence Fishburne, Marcia Gay Harden, Laura Linney. Bloody hell.
And Clint Eastwood directing it.
Are playing street hockey in Charleston, Boston after deciding to write a mural of their names on a patch of work. I'd give this a go.
Give that a go, bro, because you're going to love it. Another film. Have you seen Spotlight?
No.
Put Spotlight down on that as well. Michael Keaton.
So there's no football on, isn't there?
Yeah. Michael Keaton's comeback about the Catholic Church and the abuse cases that went on.
Oh, yeah. No, hang on. Yeah. Oh, what's the... I'll tell you what. The Catholic Church. What was the Philomena? I watched that. I loved that. That made me cry.
I didn't see that one, though.
With Alan Partridge. Who plays Alan Partridge? And Judi Dench. Oh, it's beautiful.
I must watch that.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It's really sad. I mean, I don't want to say too much because it'll ruin it, but it is brilliant.
Yeah.
What about... there are some films like that that are just gently brilliant, Three Billboards I thought was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
That was really good. Steve Coogan, Rosie's just reminded me. Steve Coogan and Dame Judi Dench. Rosie, have you seen Philomena? What did you think of it? Because I loved it.
I thought Penn was brilliant in the war movie with Michael J. Fox.
Born on the 4th day. Is that what it is? Casualty. So why am I thinking Born of... Yeah, but that's a horrible film, really. It's just that side of them. You can see why America didn't take to that film. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that side of.
No.
I mean, war is horrible. War is terrible. First casualty of war is innocence. The Platoon.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant film.
That is a great movie. That is.
Oliver Stone is one of the best. You can't really get away from. So yeah, I mean, Rosie, I don't want to spoil it for you, Carl, but I completely agree. Watching Philomena, it will make you angry.
Yeah,
it will make you very, very angry.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It is brilliant because it took me ages to watch it because it's on one of Netflix. And I thought, I don't know if I buy Stephen Coogan. He's all right in it. It's probably his best acting, but Dame Judi Dench is just outstanding.
Is that on Netflix, Dan?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is on. I mean, I lose track of what's on what. I mean, Amazon Prime. I've got Prime, Netflix, Now TV. I've got a bunch, and every time I want to watch something, it's on one of the others. I have to pay for it. But I like to on Amazon. I like to just rent it. I tell you what, the last film I rented was about a week ago, and it was John Travolta. Phenomenon.
Yeah, Jesus! Now you're going back in the day, Dan.
And I fucking loved it.
I
loved it.
Yeah,
I thought he's brilliant in it.
Yeah,
and it's heartbreaking, and it's funny, and it's like, it's just, it's a great film. I don't know, I really loved it.
You're going back in the day there now. Let me tell you. Jeez.
But you know what's quite good? I think YouTube is quite good because you'll see these little clips, and you'll go, "What's that from?"
Yeah,
and then it'll tell you, and you go, "Oh, I want to watch that," and and then you watch it, and it is sometimes it's shit. I mean, it's £2.49 to rent a film, on YouTube. they are crafty though, where you start watching it and 48 hours later, if you forget, I've done that a couple of times. Now that I've got to pay for it twice, I might as well have just bought it in the first place. But there's a load of. I mean, I'm so glad that we both love Glengarry Glen Ross, because the number of people I meet who haven't seen it, and you just think, I've spent a lifetime in sales, and this is when I watched that with my missus, and she was like, "You like those people?" And I was like, "No, of course I don't fucking like those people. I was those people." Every character in Glengarry Glen Ross is a salesperson in a different stage of his career. Some months, everything you touch is Al Pacino. Yeah. And sometimes you're the bitter Ed Harris, like, well, nothing ever goes right for me. And other times you're Jack Lemmon. Like, 5 years ago, I was top salesman. And I have lived every stage of that film so many times. But the bit where, and this again is a great piece of additional writing, because it's not in the original play. And they wrote it for Baldwin. They wanted him in the film. And there was like, coffee is for closers. Put that coffee down. All of that scene is stunning. And it's so well filmed. And it's a play on film. It's like 12 Angry Men. You don't need CGI. You don't need a set, really. I mean, that's one room they do that film in,
Alec Baldwin, in those few minutes, and let's get it right, it's only a few minutes of a cameo.
I think he's 4.5, 5 minutes, something like that.
His greatest performance ever. Easy. And it is truly a great performance.
It's awesome.
It is just magic, just sitting there watching it.
I quoted it today. I said to somebody, get them to sign on the line that is dotted. I mean, I do it all the time. People are like, my last manager, and he sometimes watches the channel. Well, he hadn't seen it. I was like, you can't manage a sales team if you haven't seen Glengarry Glen Ross. We are all those people. Our lives, and I put the pen in front of him and I said, I'm not moving till you sign it. Didn't you see how they were living? Kevin Spacey, look, you have to be able to divorce the art from the artist, right? Yeah. If you can't watch a Kevin Spacey film now because he's a shit bag, then you're missing out on some of the great American Beauty. Literally everything I've seen him in. Usual Suspects. I mean, he's been in, but Glengarry Glen Ross, where he's just like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Didn't you see how they were living? And he's just so, it's just awesome.
I love the part where Al Pacino is looking at Spacey and he says, you fucking fairy. You fucking child. You child.
You're a child in a fucking man's game. A lot of that rage was ad lib as well. A lot of that it's the David Mamet play. He won a Pulitzer Prize. It's just like a great piece of theatre.
That's right.
But I spent 10 years in a relationship with an actor, and she was always like, theatre is different from cinema and you can't do it justice. And I was like, no, I get it. And every, actors love theatre. But for me, cinema is theatre perfected, and great cinema. Look, Avatar, I enjoyed it. You're transported to another world.
Yeah.
Star Wars, I'm transported to another world. But at the heart of it, it's the narrative. It's the journey, the hero's journey, And in Glengarry Glen Ross, it takes place over 2 nights. Not even, it's a 24-hour period.
That's right.
And it's so touching, so moving. And, I don't know what it is. Every train carriage smells faintly of piss.
Yeah.
Just these moments that just pop in your head and they stay there.
It's fantastic, Dan. It's just one of those films. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a classic, and it should be seen a lot more. It should be talked about a lot more. It's a massive.
And I'd say about 1% of the population seen it.
Yeah, it's just like you talk about Kevin Spacey, and I'm always kind of saying that you have to separate the bullshit from what you see on screen. I'm there to see him. I'm there to see him. Is he going to entertain me for 2 hours?
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey, 95% of the time, always do. And who would ever forget his performance, his cameo performance once again, in one of the greatest fucking thrillers I've ever seen, Seven.
Oh my God. I can't watch that film again. I can never, ever watch that film again. I just can't watch it again. I can't, because that moment is so haunting and terrifying and awful, and just I can't watch it again. But what a film!
Dan,
what a film!
I was talking to my daughter the other day. My daughter, she's 15, and I'm introducing her to all these. She's big film lover, thank God. She comes to the cinema to see all these films with me. And the other day we went to see How to Train Your Dragon, and we were coming out long, and I was just talking to her, and I just said to her, in a few years' time, not now, but in a few years' time, you're going to experience a film called Seven with me. And the reason why I'm saying that to you is, I
couldn't do it again.
Amy is her name. I said the reason I'm saying this to Amy is because I want you to stand here. So we stood in the cinema, everyone was gone, so we were just kept behind. And I said, listen. And it was pure silence standing in the cinema. That silence. The music was stopped. The crowd was gone. Silence. And I said to her, when Seven ended, Dan, I was in a packed fucking cinema in the Savoy in Dublin. There was 325 seats, full capacity. And at the end of Seven, I never saw it before or since. And I see thousands of films in the cinema. There was this silence over the whole place, Dan. Nobody could believe what we're after witnessing.
Yeah,
people were actually fucking stunned walking out of some. People were numb. They couldn't talk. Nobody could talk.
It was that. It was exactly. I can't watch it again. I can't watch it again. It was too impactful. It was too massive. It was too. Took my breath away. It was like, what the actual. That doesn't happen in film.
No.
And
the fact that film is, once again, David Fincher directed it. So they came up, they had two endings to that film. The ending that we all saw and a different ending. And so they got together and the movie studio came together and they said to David Fincher, we're putting out the second ending, which is the complete opposite to what we saw. So what happened was Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman went in, had a meeting, and said to the studio, you go and put the second ending to this film, and we have nothing to do with this shit. We don't want this. We want the first ending, the one that we all saw.
The one that would change the way you can't.
So the second
makes you feel something, doesn't it?
Yeah, Dan. I swear to God, man. I swear down. I walked out of that cinema that night, changed. I was fucking changed forever. I said, what have I just witnessed? What have I can't, what? And my head was
mate, I just, even like thinking about it, I just would never have expected that.
Dan, it was unbelievable. And even in the car when they're driving along, and Brad Pitt's character, Detective Mills, is turning around and he's saying to Joe Doe, you're not only a fucking t-shirt, a movie of the week. That's all you are. You'll never be remembered. You're just a t-shirt. You're just a movie of the week. And Spacey's just looking at him smirking. And everything that Spacey is saying about why he's after killing these people, when you think about it, makes a little bit of sense. You feel actually, you feel good because you question yourself as a viewer. He makes you think.
No, I mean it's a really, I mean it's an unforgettable moment in your cinematic life. I'm trying to think. I'm desperately trying to think of anything in cinema that's been like you said, because that doesn't. I saw it at home and I was like, "What do you do after watching that? What do you do? Stick Bambi on? Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? You know, like you can't."
Dan, I won't be honest with you, man. I can only speak from personal for me. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch a film for about 2 weeks after that film. And I tell you another thing. I thought about that film, Dan, for months after watching this. It was in my head every day for months after. It really got to me.
I can't watch. I mean, like there aren't any. I can't think of any other. I mean, Schindler's List I've seen 2 or 3 times. I find that very hard, very tough to watch. But that one, there are very few films I won't ever. I mean, I read American Psycho, the Bret Easton Ellis novel, and I read it on the tube. And when I was reading it, I would like want to cover the cover so people couldn't see I was reading it because it's so horrible. And when someone told me that they'd made it into a film, I just assumed they were joking. Yeah, of course they've made that into a film. Yeah. And then I found out they had, and I was like, how the fuck do you turn this in? This is the darkest thing I've ever read. I mean, it's very difficult. It's well written in a way, and it has these strange twists of plot, but it is a dark. I mean, you get through it. You don't want to read it really by the end. The idea they turned that into a film, and it's one of my brother's favorite films, but I have seen it, and I can see on the screen it doesn't have the same impact it does in your head. But I could watch that film again and it wouldn't bother me. It's a bit too cartoonish. But Seven hit me in a place I think that's very raw. I think maybe it's something that it's the worst fear, right? It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't happen in cinema, and I can absolutely understand how. But this takes us back to Pulp Fiction and Quentin Tarantino when he was selling the Pulp Fiction. The original version, obviously, is more not quite in chronological order, but at the end of it is not the diner scene. It's and they're like, no, because we can't have the main guy dead at the end, and he goes like. Yeah. So they swapped it round so that the last scene has John Travolta in it. And he's like, but he's still dead, right? And they're like, yeah, but the audience won't see it that way.
Yeah.
And the other one that I find absolutely hysterically bad. And I think it's Kiefer Sutherland, Missing. And it's a Belgian art noir film. And in it, the man kidnaps his wife and he finds, and in the end, it's him being killed by the same man. But in the Hollywood ending, they had to change it. So he rescues his wife. And you're looking at it going, well, that's not the film anymore then, is it? That's just a silly fucking film.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Kiefer Sutherland, yeah. I remember watching that many years ago as well.
It's a shit film. It's like, why?
Like, you talk about Missing Wives. Like, I always enjoyed Breakdown for what it was with Kurt Russell. And
Kurt Russell, yeah.
And JT Welch was the truck driver, and he has to go looking for his wife, Kurt Russell. And I enjoyed it for what it was. The Vanishing. Who was in The Vanishing?
I haven't seen that. Have I seen that one? I don't think so.
The Vanishing, yeah. Was that Jeff Bridges? I think that was Jeff Bridges.
He's good.
Did you ever? There's one for you now, Dan. There's a question for you. You're talking about being left with your mouth open, for like. Seven, for example. There's another film that I walked out of the cinema absolutely fucking blown away. Couldn't believe what I was after watching. Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins.
I don't think I've seen a film with those two.
Oh my God. Arlington Road.
Oh, hang on. Have I? Why do I know? Oh, is that where? Oh, is that the serial killer?
No. Well, no.
Have I seen that? That rings a bell. I know the name. I might not have seen that.
If you haven't seen this, check it out.
It's another one for the list. Arlington Road. Yeah. Love Thy Neighbor. Oh, yeah, no, I have seen this one. Yeah, I have seen it. It's a Ruby Ridge stuff. Yeah, no, I have seen it. Years ago, I didn't really. Maybe I haven't then. Because it didn't have that much of an impact on me.
I loved it. The ending. The twist at the end. Fucking.
Oh, listen, any film with a twist at the end, I'm a sucker for a film with a twist at the end.
That twist, if you saw that film, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't watched it.
I might have to dig it because it looked familiar when I just looked at the poster for it and it did look familiar.
The twist.
So here's a great question from Boy Tendio, which I'd love to get your take on. Did Hollywood peak in the 90s?
No, it was the 90s was a good decade for films. It was a good decade for films. But for me, the best decade for films was the 70s. I think cinema was golden era of cinema was the 70s. And the 80s was good too, Dan. We grew up in a good era. The 80s and the 90s was good. But for me, I just think
we had the Goonies.
The Goonies. Who don't love the Goonies?
You've got to, haven't you? That's another one where they didn't show the kids the boat until they actually saw it on screen.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, the 90s was a really good decade.
You know all the teen films? Like, you don't... early 90s, might even be 1990. I wrote this down. It's one of the only ones I've written down earlier because I wanted to talk about it, because you were talking about Jack Nicholson and it just popped in my head. Heathers.
Heathers, yeah. Jesus, Dan.
I still say greetings and salutations. Like, that is a fucking brilliant film.
Yeah, Christian Slater was in that, isn't he?
Christian Slater basically doing a Jack Nicholson impression the whole way through.
That's right.
Darkly funny.
Funny.
She shoots the two frat boys
Yeah.
With what he calls Luger bullets.
Yeah.
He's pretending they're fake. And she goes, "Did we just get?" And he killed. It's murderous and vile, but it's like the everything about that film. It just colors pop, and the end of it is Sly and the Family Stone, my favorite band of all time, and singing "Que Sera Sera." And I just thought, like, when you sit down and watch a film, and from beginning to end, it has you just loving it. Just you don't stop, and that's a very, very good film.
I was actually talking to my missus the other night about that. She never saw it, and I said to her, "We're going to have to sit down and watch Heathers." So
it's a musical now. They made a West End musical about it.
Yeah,
I don't know how. I haven't seen it, but no, just greetings and salutations. He's so cool. He's so cool in it.
Do you remember? Christmas Theatre in True Romance?
Yeah, and that's another film that doesn't get a lot of. Brad Pitt's in that, isn't he? He plays
Brad Pitt's first starring role. He's smoking doobies in it the whole time.
Yeah, and he's like, and they come in, and he's like, and he's eating cereal and smoking.
Yeah,
I love him.
Christopher Walken. Sure, that scene between Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper, that was brilliant.
Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, where he's telling him about how basically, that is
it's brilliant.
Christopher Walken, and he's laughing as this guy, and he just shoots him, and he goes,
it's
brilliant.
That's a great film. And Val Kilmer acting as Elvis Presley in it.
What's that?
Val Kilmer acting as Elvis Presley. Remember Elvis Presley used to come to Christian Slater's character.
Yeah.
That's Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I tell you, it always makes me think of, whenever I think of Elvis, I always think of Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah.
Where he plays the flying Elvises. I can't remember what it is now. But the other film, the 90s, it might even be late 80s, Wild at Heart, David Lynch.
David Lynch, yeah. No, I never saw it. That.
I don't know. You might not like it, but it is. Do you like any David Lynch?
Yeah, David Lynch, yeah, I do like some of his stuff. And I just want to sit here and say I'm his favorite fan already.
No, it's some. I mean, I never watched, for example, I never really got into Twin Peaks or anything like that. But this is a great film. It's a great film. It's not like anything else. It's like Grifters or one of these dark, sort of almost film noir, late 80s, early 90s films that just people don't seem to make anymore.
Yeah.
It's got Willem Dafoe in Wild at Heart as well. He's brilliant in it, and he's really a brilliant actor. Did you see the this is based on a brilliant book, and I read the book straight after it, about a man and it's got the Incredible Hulk in it, Ruffalo's in it, and it's set in Scotland and about a guy who takes the brain out of a woman and puts it in another woman, and it's Willem Dafoe plays the doctor. It's just beautiful.
I know what the film you're about, but I never saw that either. I stayed away from it too, Dan.
Pretty Things, I think it's called.
Pretty Things, that's it. Pretty Things.
Genius film. How do you not see that? That's brilliant.
Didn't see that one, Dan. No, I missed out on it.
I'd see that. I would say out of that, and it's a good film. It's not quite. I don't know. The book, it's tough. I read the book after I watched the film because I love the film so much.
Right.
So
you recommend it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely. I think Willem Dafoe. If Willem Dafoe's in something, I'm watching it. If Christian Bale's in something, I'm watching it.
Well, I have something to ask you then, Dan, about Willem Dafoe, because I think Willem Dafoe is brilliant myself. So my question is, did you watch The Lighthouse? And if so, what did you think?
The Lighthouse. No, I don't think I have. Who's in that?
What's his name? William Dafoe and the fella, our guy from Twilight, Batman. Can't think of his name though.
Oh, Robert Pattinson. Oh,
Robert
God.
Pattinson. That's it.
No, I haven't. Well, this is a fairly recent one. Oh, no.
Oh, a few years ago, about 3 years ago.
2019, it says here.
So, yeah.
Oh, I've got loads to watch now. I'm not.
Now, that Lighthouse, I'm very interested to see what you think of the Lighthouse.
I mean, like I said, I will say anything with. Oh, look, Rosie's giving it terrible movie.
Yeah. Now, here's what I think. The Lighthouse is an interesting one, Dan. Some people love it, and some people hate it. I went to see it with 2 other film reviewers, and the 2 of them loved it. I fucking hate it. I absolutely hate it. So I'd be very interested to see what you think as a William Dafoe fan.
Yeah, I mean, I really love him, but that doesn't mean he's in it. Everything he's good. Everything he's in is good.
No.
He's just very good in Pretty Things. It's such a. You know.
Did you watch the Nosferatu?
No, I didn't. No, but I can't really see how I'm going to enjoy it.
No, Dan, I'm going to be honest with you. This is again, and I'll be a big Nosferatu / Dracula fan. I didn't like Nosferatu, Dan. I came about this.
I think. Don't get me wrong. The original, I can understand why people, because it's got all these new horror. I mean, it's a whole designs a genre, but like, I have to say, horror is not my thing. I don't really get horrored out by horror. I like The Fog. I think that's brilliant. They remade that book.
Brilliant.
Just the menace. I think I'm more spooked by films like Jaws than I ever am by slasher movies or things.
I have a question to ask you then, Dan. You said Jaws, so I have a question to ask you. This is a question that I'm asked regularly and end up having discussions about, we should say. Where would you rate Jaws? Would you rate Jaws as a thriller or a horror?
Thriller.
I always rate it as a horror.
What is a horror, though? I mean, horror is just I don't know. Imagine, like when you take the music off of Jaws, you realize it's neither. It's just a silly film, isn't it? But for me, all I can say is, growing up, my mum didn't read a lot of books, but she had a copy of Jaws, the book. And on the book, there's a woman swimming along the top, and there's this shark coming up, like from the film poster. Yeah. And that people now say, like, I have a fear of sharks. Like, I wouldn't even when you get the tiny little ones, I don't get in the water. Like people laugh at me. I was like, we've got a phobia of sharks. And I don't think it's a phobia, to be honest with you. I just watched Jaws when I was very young, and then Jaws 2, and I was like, that's me done. Fuck it. Yeah. The ocean, you can have that. I don't even like lakes now. There was a point as a child after watching Jaws 2 and Jaws 1, for not the first time, where I didn't even want to be in the bathtub. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. That was so for me, maybe you're right, maybe horror.
Yeah.
Because I could watch horror films all the time. The only film I haven't been able to watch was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I watched that, Dan.
I think that would be too much for me. That's too horrible. Yeah.
I watched it, Dan. I got something from it. But I'm not one of these guys to cause it to be a masterpiece. It's a good. This is what it is. I've seen the remakes, I've seen the sequels and the remakes, and they're all shite. I think they're going a bit too far with all this horror stuff. With Saw, the likes of Saw. Like,
I enjoyed Saw.
I enjoyed Saw 1. I thought the original Saw was brilliant.
Why don't they ever just leave it at one good film? Like,
we're on Saw 13 or 14 now, and it's all graphic, it's all torture,
and then it just becomes uninspiring at a certain point, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just gave up on it.
None of those films.
I enjoyed Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1.
Yeah, that was because I mean I we went round to a friend's
we were
house and we
teenagers.
watched.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
after that, Dan,
none of them do anything for me. I don't really get horror. I don't like slash movies. I don't like any of the excessive blood and gore films. I get why people do like them. I'm not here to judge, but it's got to be gripping. I like the psychological thrillers a lot more.
Dan, I'm going to say this thing. I'm going to ask you again another question because you just said psychological thriller. I don't like blowing smoke up my own hole here or anything like that, but I'll say it as it is. I'll say it as it is. I'll regard myself as an expert in the film The Exorcist. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have studied the film from top to bottom. I've written about it on numerous occasions, and I've watched this hundreds of times.
Yeah, it's not very good, is it?
I feel
you gotta like it if you've seen it hundreds of times and written.
Yeah, I feel that it's one of the most, for me, it's one of the most powerful films ever made. Now,
yeah,
people say it's the scariest film ever made, the most horror film ever made. I actually put it into that bracket that you just said. Psychological.
It didn't do anything for me. I think the music's incredible. That the way that when he's walking in the first bit, I mean, it just left me a little bit
underwhelmed.
Yeah, no, I don't really get it. I think The Omen got me more. Omen 1 and 2.
Yeah, Omen was great. The Omen is great.
I mean, it is. It's a Buchenhagen and the Jackal. I mean, that's a thriller. That's like,
yeah,
you can imagine that in written form. Yeah, but it's really funny. Me and my mate, this is years later. I mean, years. We were sat there watching, and we put on Mothman Diaries, but we must have put the wrong channel on.
Yeah,
because we started watching this film, and we'd had a curry and a few doobies, and we're sitting there watching this film, and it was like, this is familiar. And we started laughing. And Mothman Diaries, this is a remake of The Omen. It's exactly like The Omen. And then there's a scene where she jumps out of the window and hangs herself and goes, "It's all for you, Damien." And we just looked at each other and went, "Hang on a minute." And we looked and we go, "Oh, it is a remake of the fucking no. Why did they remake The Omen?" I was like, "What are you doing remaking The Omen? It's already been made." Like,
yeah,
it was so carbon copy. You think, what is that? Why are they doing that?
It's crazy stuff, Dan. It's like I went to the cinema last year to see the new Exorcist film, The Exorcist the Believer.
Oh, yeah.
And
is it like a remake of The Exorcist then?
No, it's different. It is different. But it's still same kind of, still based on a girl that's possessed, and then her friend is possessed as well. So there's two girls possessed in this film, and one girl is a white girl, the other girl is a black girl. And I thought it was the most horrible film. I said, will you stop making these fucking repeats and stop?
What is it? Because you can just type that into Chat GPT and get it. Do you know what I mean?
That's
the whole thing that humans do really well is that we come up with ideas, and it just feels like some people are just going, "Oh, we don't need ideas. Just put another
ideas." It's like The Exorcist for me. Like I said to you, obviously it's one of my favorite films of all time, and obviously I've done lots of work on it. But The Exorcist 2 was a terrible film. The Exorcist 3 was a good film. And then after that, then we have all these nonsense, like, and how many more Exorcist films are going? The exorcism of this one, the exorcism of that one, and everyone, like, Jesus, will you give it a rest?
It is just, I mean, like some of these films where you just think, oh, honest to God.
Desperate.
But I tell you what is funny. One of my favorite films of all time. And there's actually 5 or 6 versions. I think I've seen all of them. Blade Runner. And I love Philip K. Dick. I'm a huge fan of his short stories, his novels, Man in the White Castle. I know they turned that into a TV series, which is a bit like, like you've taken a fairly shortish novel and turned it into so many series of pap and nonsense. It's just... But Blade Runner is brilliant. But they had to make a Blade Runner for American TV as well. And in Blade Runner for American TV, they don't know how long they're going to live. He doesn't realize he's a replicant. And there's so many. So, but when 2049 came out, Blade Runner, and I was so desperate to watch it. I couldn't wait to see it. I bought it. I was like, oh, I fell asleep halfway through. Second time I tried to watch it, I fell asleep halfway through. But I think it was my brain just shutting down because I actually love the film. I think it's a great film. It's almost as good as the original. But there was just something about it that my brain was going, no, you're not ready for that. But it felt like there are very few films where you'd get away with that. Something like The Exorcist is so long ago. It'd be like making Apocalypse Now 2.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to say that hasn't already been said? The film is a perfect, wrapped up little film, start to finish. You're not leaving the cinema watching The Exorcist thinking, oh, what could happen next? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like,
Dan, just to say something to you, I hear what you're talking about Blade Runner and then Blade Runner 2049. And I loved Blade Runner, obviously. And I went to the cinema, couldn't wait. Like you said, I couldn't wait to see 2049 to see what that was going to be like. And I went in hoping that it was going to do Blade Runner justice. And I came out of that cinema that night. And once again, I put it down as an absolute experience. I thought Blade Runner 2049 for me is actually better than Blade Runner.
Yeah, I absolutely. I think in a lot of ways that without the limitations that Ridley Scott had in the first Blade Runner, because he's clearly trying to create a world that he doesn't have the technology to create, and he does a fantastic job with it.
Yeah.
In terms of the best ever ad-lib dialogue of all, I mean, I know it's not technically purely ad-lib, but Rutger Hauer's Tears in Rain speech is still, for me, I think we could do a really good show on what the best movie speeches of all time are, but that's up there. Absolutely. I've seen so many films where all these things will be lost, like tears in the rain, and you just think, wow, it's just a brilliant. It's better than the writing of Philip K. Dick. It's something about. There are very few films that get away with if you just watch that film for the atmosphere of that film.
Yeah.
But with 2049, it had some things going against it going in where I thought, I'm not sure about him as a leading actor. I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it lives up to, matches, and I think possibly exceeds the original in cinematic scale and everything.
What do you think of Ryan Gosling?
Not a great deal, honestly. But no, I don't. But that's not fair. I mean, I'm struggling to think of something where I hate him in it. I think he's. Listen, I thought he was great in that. I thought, but I don't. I find him quite easy confused with the one who plays Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan, I find them two interchangeable. It's like, I mean, he's really good. He's good. Maybe I'm not being fair. I don't hate him in anything.
I loved him in Drive. I thought Drive was a fucking great film.
I haven't seen it. I don't think.
I thought it was a great film.
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it.
You should watch that one, Dan. Put that down on the list. He said he has very little dialogue in the whole film. He's a getaway driver, basically. And I thought it was brilliant. And there's another film he's in I thought was brilliant as well.
La La Land.
Was it?
La La Land. You liked him in that?
Oh, fuck that. The tree, what's the name of it? Trees Behind. If you type in his filmography, you'll see it. Trees Behind or something behind trees.
I'll look at it now. I'm in it now. So I'm looking at Drive now. Let me go to just him. It looks really familiar. The poster for Drive. I don't know. What I'm trying to think. Nice Guys. That's great. That's a great film.
I didn't watch it, Dan. I did watch.
Oh, that's a great film.
I may watch it.
That is a great film. Actually, yeah. No, I love him in that. It's absolutely brilliant.
I watched The Fall Guy there recently. I didn't like.
Yeah, I'm not watching The Fall Guy.
Didn't like it at all.
It was on telly every Saturday night. I don't get how they turned it into a. It's not for me. I might regret that, but Murder by Numbers. you know, the truth is, I haven't seen a lot of the things that Ryan Gosling's been in.
There's
Nice guys.
trees beneath the fucking something or other. Can't think of it.
Are you sure it's him? Because in order, 2024, Fall Guy, I'm Just Ken, Barbie, The Chase for Carrera, Favorite Shapes, First Man, Blade Runner 2049, Song to Song, La La Land, Nice Guys, Big Short. That's a fucking good film.
Yeah.
Place Beyond the Pines. That's
it. That's it.
Okay.
Really good film.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Eva Mendes in that. Well, who else in that? Does it say who else in that?
Yeah, Eva Mendes, Bradley Cooper, Ray Liotta.
Yeah. Worth checking out then.
Do you know what? I mean, I thought I'd seen every Ray Liotta. We were talking about him earlier. I think he's amazing.
Did you ever watch the one Ray Liotta, the one where what's the name was I remember that. The one where they're in a motel room. There's a lot of them in a motel room. One of them is a killer. And they're trying to find out who the killer is. Oh, what's the name of that Ray Liotta?
Oh, no. But I'd have to go back. I mean, that was one that really saddens me when he passed.
Yeah. Yeah, very sad. But there's there's a Christian Bale film too, Dan, that I think you'll be really interested in as well. With Woody Harrelson is in it. Woody Harrelson is brilliant in it. And Joaquin Phoenix brother is in it. He's in the army. He does underground boxing and
Woody Harrelson, like, I love him. I love White Men Can't Jump. It's a fabulous film. And they remade that as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And you just think, no, don't remake classics. But I saw him in one recently where he's a basketball coach.
Yeah.
I don't care how much they paid him for that movie. I don't care if he needed a kidney transplant, but that is a terrible film. And I've spoken to people about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's all right." What's funny? The Champions, I think it's called.
Yeah, no,
Boy Tendia says, "I feel sorry for Gosling. He kind of fades into the background as an actor. Always think of someone else before him." That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
That's how exactly. Great description.
Great. Rosie says Crazy Stupid Love is a fun movie to pass time. I haven't seen it. Usual Suspects, brilliant film. I see, like we were talking about it earlier. I think we're on the same, but I don't want to misquote you. But I think Kevin Spacey, I appreciate that his private life is awful and he's done things he shouldn't have done, and he probably isn't going to make another big film. But everything I've ever seen him in has been good, including that ridiculous K-Pax.
Yeah,
even that's a great film. Even that's a great film. Like, and it's because of him. He's got a presence he's got that ability to do very little.
Yeah,
he doesn't make big movements. He
was brilliant in that TV show, House of Cards.
Oh, how funny is that though? Like that he's cut out of the last episode. The last series of that was like, but the original, I don't know if you ever saw the original English one. It's brilliant. It's really good. You might think so. I couldn't possibly comment. It's brilliant. It was really, and that had some really shocking moments in it as well. Far more shock value than the remake.
Right.
I think women look at Spacey films differently from men. I love The Negotiator, but I'll never watch him in anything again. I don't know.
The Negotiator was good though. Film for what it was. That was the one with Samuel Jackson.
I can't remember it. Is it?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking of one in what's the one in a phone booth where is it called phone booth?
That was Phone. Was that not Phone Booths by Colin Farrell?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's Colin Farrell. He's brilliant. See, Colin Farrell is right up there for me.
Yeah. He was really good at
that. Spacey's an unreal actor, truly unreal, takes over screen when he's on it. I agree with you.
Yeah, you can't keep your eyes off him when he's on screen.
He's just, and he, like in that, we were talking about Glengarry Glen Ross. I mean, you're on screen with Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, like these are not, hey, the assembled here. Morning, everyone. Welcome to our first of many MindCandy movie review. I don't know, we don't have to have the name MindCandy. It's just something that I thought was quite good.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to enjoy this. but it's now 1:15, and I have work in the morning.
Yeah, Dan. And I have to stay outside this hotel to about
a getaway driver for a heist movie.
I have to be here out to 4:00, and then they'll come out, and then I have about 3-hour drive back to where we're from. So I won't get home to about 7:00 in the morning, Dan.
Mate, I hope you get a good sleep for it tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hit the back of the bus now and try to get an hour or two sleep before we take off. Idea. But Dan, listen, I really enjoyed this conversation. I can't believe that almost 3 hours has gone by just
That's
like
what I mean. Do you know what? And what's brilliant about it is like I literally just there's so many things we haven't touched on. There's so many things we haven't. We do genre after genre, but it's been brilliant getting your take on some films. I've got plenty to catch up on till next time. I'll text you, see when we can do the next one, but it can't come soon enough for me.
Absolutely, Dan. Absolutely. No, I can't wait for it either. It's great. And as I said to you, you have certain films there to watch now.
Yeah.
I'm always watching different things. So, and I'm sure the next time I'll be out being in the cinema to watch whatever other crap is in it, and I'll come back and fill you in on all the gossip. And
I look forward to Aquaman 5, hearing all about Aquaman 5 and Avengers Reassembled, Part Assembled.
Don't talk to me that. But listen,
the story of the IKEA movie.
Don't talk to me. Well, come on, I'll tell you another thing that we do, Dan. I bring the next time as well. What I start doing is I will start bringing the gossip from the movie world as well. And we can have a chat about what I'm hearing and what I'm not hearing.
Yeah, I love the stories, and like we talk about it. We'll set it up so that we cover, because there's so much. This is such a big subject, isn't it? But
absolutely, Dan. We could be here for years talking.
I think films, cinema, movies, these are so important. They're culturally so important. They define our time in a way that nothing else really does. Absolutely. And even when you love a film and I fucking hate it, it's never going to get to the point where we call each other mutants.
No. we keep the Arsenal chat, the mutants, and on to the Arsenal channels.
It's passion, but it's all cool.
But Dan, I'm disappointed. I am disappointed. One thing I'm disappointed about with you. You made a fucking brilliant video.
Did you see the one?
Didn't put my fucking ugly face on it.
But I did have. You haven't seen it yet. Your last night's show was it? Last night's show. I ended it with a video just to say thank you to all the people who've been on the show and stuff. And you're at the very end, and there's a line that says, I'll put it on in a minute, and then you can watch it. But you're in that, and there's a picture of you. So because I did take it to heart. But I did that whole video about people who are angry. I don't think of you that way. I don't think of you as angry. I've never, we've talked and we have good conversations. We disagree, but I don't think of you as angry. I know you've had the odd clip where you're angry, and on your channel you're sometimes a bit pissed off. But I don't think it's with you. I know it's authentic. I know you're pissed off, and I know that you want to be happy. You don't travel all that way to go to a match to be miserable. So I get it. Yeah. I think that at our heart, all of us Arsenal fans, I get so fed up with, I had someone on the other week when he was going, so do you think you should have one more season? I don't know. I just want to watch football and enjoy football. I don't want to have a big conversation about, did we spend enough money? What's our net spend? I just want to go back to, we play Man United. I want us to beat Man United. I'm not signing a fucking petition. You're not getting me signing a petition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll sign a petition if they make Pulp Fiction 2. If they try and remake that again, but with,
But you look at, as I said to you, football is football, and this is the movie stuff.
Exactly. And we'll put it on a different channel.
Yeah.
Because I just think this is a like all the good things, this is a passion project. It's not like, it's not to blow up or get it. Just hopefully we'll get Rosie and Boy Tendio and Nathan, all these guys, and Miss Molina and everyone who was here earlier to join us on that, Mob Boss, and we've got to figure out a way of making it more interactive. You're all welcome on from time to time. We'll do a panel.
Big up to them all.
Yeah, but I love hearing your take on films, specifically because I know how much thought you've put into it, And I do want to pick your brains a little bit more on The Exorcist, but I feel like I've got to watch it again just to see what it is that you get about it, because that one.
Yeah. No, Dan, we have so much to talk about. As I said, this is our first show. We keep on, improving us, getting better and better. You're the man with the laptop and you're doing little graphics and stuff like that. I'm the man sitting here with an iPhone in front of me, charging up with a bus. So don't ask me to do.
Matt, listen, I love all. I'm thinking about Brad. Like the intro sequences, ideas, running themes, things like that. Let's get ideas and suggestions. Let's make it a thing. But it's a great way to just spend an evening chatting about things we love.
Absolutely.
Hawkwind was here earlier. Forgot to say hi. Love you, Hawkwind. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to lead out. I'm going to go out with and play you this song from yesterday. Because it's basically my way of saying thank you to everyone who's made the Gooner channel enjoyable, and we've picked up a little bit in the last couple of weeks. So
your content's brilliant, Dan. Even though sometimes I don't agree, it's still brilliant. And,
you know what? I the whole premise is, look, why would I'm not in know. I'm not an expert. I love the club. You love the club. We're going to disagree. There's going to be imagine if we never disagreed. It'd be mental.
Be a bad word.
But I tell you where we will both agree. The day that Arsenal lift the Champions League might be in a year, might be 20 years, but we'll both agree it's the best day ever. And that's all that matters. And when people go on about how people are angry I know when you're angry, it's because you're genuinely angry about something. I respect that. I've been angry. We all get there, but I've never had a bad time talking to you, and I'm really looking forward to many more movie chats.
Absolutely, bring it on. We'll have a few hours of chats too, Dan. Don't worry about
that. Yeah. Well, listen, we're about to win the Premier League. Look, we're about to go and sign Rodrigo and Eze, and I want to talk to you about Gyökeres. Listen, we've got you know where it is. But I'm going to go out with a thank you to everybody. And this video from last night, just because it's got you mentioned at the end of it. So don't say I never mentioned it.
I stick around. Big up, Dan. Big up.
Cheers, man. Cheers, Carl. Lots of love.
Night, bro.
Here we go. Right.
Yeah. Mic check, 1, 2. Peace to the Screen Kings crew in the digital lounge. After hours swing, football banter, late night vibes. Only real ones here, subscribe and survive. Yo, it's 2 a.m. light dim like a VAR booth. After hours FC where we speak the raw truth. No scripts, no beef, just vibes and finesse. We click, go live, now we clean the mix. Stand on the panel, voice slick like lacquer. Cracking jokes like you Wenger with the banter factor. It's Rosie in the chat, always dropping the heat. With them one-liners quicker than a soccer fast feet. Gary spins theories deep like mine gold dust. Where we got the vision of a young Fabregas trust. And Irv Vader while singing he's Arteta out. Sammy G laughs so hard, nearly spits his drink out.
Hours, no hate, just pure fire. Talking footy in life, we never tire. YouTube's finest, yeah we congregate. We're legends of bait and good vibes.
Romel's rocking retro kits. Call her the style and Dawn. Talking about 98 France like Zidane and gone. Zanzi with the stats. Got Opta scared to compete. Dropping facts so clean he knocks pundits off their feet. OG Malaya sips tea with the mic on mute. But when she types, it's gospel in a football suit. From North London to Lagos, they all tap in. Cause it's never just a stream, it's a worldwide lock-in. No trolls, no hate, just the realest of kin. If you bring good vibes, yo, we let you in. It's that Wu Clan essence, but on football talk. Kick back, chop it up, catch up and get caught.
Hours, no hate, just pure fire. Talking footy in life, we never tire. YouTube's finest, yeah we congregate. We're legends of bait and good vibes, baby.
So pull up a chair, pour a glass of chill in this YouTube joint where the love is real. From the Gooners to Reds and them Toffees too. We respect every crest, every shade, every view. This the clubhouse, so cool, the lounge of peace, where opinions flow free and the jokes don't cease. A shout out to the fan, making midnight shine. After hours FC, where football meets mine. Sending mad love to the regular, shout out to Fresh Drip Art, Cole S, Boy 10 Dio, Neff, Kermit, Mr. Tom, Sammy G, from the factory, Moth Sasquatch, Rido, Chris Nix, Mob Boss, Cannon Creature, Jordan, and Jerry, and cheer up Big Kyle, we might win the league in style. Massive elevations to y'all, peace out.